So, good evening and happy Saturday night. I'm Devil Doc. I'm your host. Minnie is out. He had some surgery on, I believe it was Thursday night. So he's down for the count. So you've got me. What do we have on par for tonight? We're going to do shots, of course, memes. We got an amazing guest. He's a friend of mine. He's an Army vet. His name's Dan Jarvis. He's founder of 220, and he's also one of the founding members of the Anxiety Guys podcast. So, I'm looking forward to that. Got a lot of killer memes and all that. So some of you are asking what the bar is. Well, the bar is a crazy roundtable discussion of a group of veterans that try to solve the world's problems through silliness, memes. We get way off topic, way off topic. Nothing ever gets solved. If something does get solved, it's by a miracle. Other than that, it's just good old fun because we get people out of their comfort zone. We get people to open up, talk, be silly, come up with interesting catchphrases and taglines like hashtag your vagina, hashtag not my ransom, hashtag blues ghost owes me a beer, stuff like that. So in tradition of the bar, toast to all of you that have been with us from the get-go. This is to you. Happy Saturday and enjoy. Here's some of the comments. He's technically one of our founding members as well. He just doesn't know it. Got to figure out who this is. Yes, Dean, you are the best off-topic guest we have. And we've got Full Metal Vet in the house. He's off working on secret projects. We call him Secret Squirrel when he's not skateboarding. But, he's doing some stuff, but he's going to chime in from time to time. So, what is everybody's plans for the weekend? What are you all up to? What are you all doing? I'm in the process of having a yard sale / garage sale / we're getting the hell out of Dodge and going to Florida sale. So, yeah. Yep. We're on our way to Port St. Lucie come this time next Friday. We'll be on the road, eastbound and down. And here he is, the 55-year E3 of the Canadian Army. He's alive. He's in the house. He may or may not have blue and white and red hair. We don't know. Okay. Because you called it. Shots. And that was brought to you by Tennyson. Some amazing stuff. So, if you don't like to drink the hard stuff all the time, this is a great alternative. Or it's also an additive. So, it's really good. They send me stuff all the time. Thanks to Tim. My wife, aka Comm's, planned on being here tonight, but because we are having a yard sale / garage sale / getting the fuck out of Dodge sale, she may pop on, she may not. She may be here from time to time. She's pretty tired. But I told Minnie I would carry on. So, that's cool. Hydrostatic shock. Really need to figure out who that is. Awesome name. Oh, you're new. Okay. All right. Yeah, we got a place. It's maybe 10, 15 minutes from the beach. So it'll be cool. Be near my sister-in-law and my wife's sister. So that'll be great. It'll be fun. My family's on the Gulf side in Tampa, so it'll be interesting to live on the other side, on the Atlantic side. In a van down by the river. Well, welcome, hydrostatic shock. We get crazy. We have fun. It's an awesome time. Hope you enjoy. Hope we don't offend you. We get kind of crazy. So now we have a long-standing tradition here on the bar. I'll do it shortly. We're going to do a Congressional Medal of Honor reading. It's been going on since way before I was on the show. It's Minnie's thing. Pays homage to the crazy people that, get it. So let me pull it up. So what I was looking at. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up and do 85 billion things at the same time. Adulting's hard. Did I get it? Yes, I did. Okay. If you get offended, you can just be offended because no one gives us shit. You'll enjoy the memes. I've got like 60 something memes to share. Present. Greetings, whoever's on Sports Church. What is up? Present. Share screen. Share screen. Share. Okay. Hey, Pops, how are you doing? All right, so this is a long-standing tradition we have here on the bar where we read a Congressional Medal of Honor sighting. So, without further ado, we're going to knock this out of the park and get it over with. Hopefully, I don't screw it up. World War II U.S. Army. Name is Maurice Lee Footsie Brett. At time of action, he was a lieutenant. Company L, 3rd D Battalion, 30th Infantry, 3rd D Infantry Division. Medal of Honor action date was November 10th, 1943. Place of action was north of Maginot, Italy. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his own life above and beyond the call of duty, disbanding enemies, hand grenades, and close-range machine pistols, machine guns, and rifles, Lieutenant Britt inspired and led a handful of men in repelling a bitter counterattack of approximately 100 Germans against his company's position north of Maginot, Italy, on the morning of 10th November 1943. During the intense firefight, Lieutenant Britt's canteen and field glasses were shattered. A bullet pierced his side, his chest, his face, and hands were covered with grenade wounds. Despite his wounds, for which he refused to accept medical attention until ordered to by his battalion commander following the battle, he personally killed 5, wounded an unknown number of Germans, wiped out 1 enemy machine gun crew, fired 5 clips of a carbine and an undetermined amount of N1 rifle ammunition, and threw 32 fragmentation grenades. His bold, aggressive actions, utterly disregarding superior enemy numbers, resulted in the capture of 4 Germans, 2 of them wounded, and enabled several captured Americans to escape. Lieutenant Britt's undaunted courage, prowess in arms were largely responsible for repulsing a German counterattack in which successful would have isolated his battalion and destroyed his company. My God, man. Wow. That is nuts. That is crazy. My God. Here's to you, Lieutenant Britt. Cheers. And to those of us that have been through the blood, the muck, the tears, the sweat, everything else that goes with it, the hospital stays, the pain pills, the VA pills, whatever else. Cheers. Man, every time I read those, my God, that is some crazy. Damn. That's just nuts and a half. Like, doesn't even go and get medical help, and I was a corpsman. My God. So how's everybody Saturday night? What's new with y'all? Really wish somebody was here so I could go to the bathroom. Yep. Throwing 32 grenades. Yeah. Apparently he even damaged one of his hands. and his field glasses were shattered. He had a bullet in his face, a bullet in his chest. Oh, that's cool. Thrash metal. Any good bands? Oh, shitballs. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Sorry, I'm multitasking while trying to do this all at the same time. So I apologize. No, he is definitely not getting through TSA, Dean. He would set some shit off like there was no tomorrow. And not in a good way. It'd be blessed death and dark fate. Cool. Do I need light on in here? Probably. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn some lights on. Is that better? Yeah. My daughter and soon-to-be son-in-law are joining the show. He left 100% human, came back 99% human, 1% lead. Allergies getting me? Nah, I just always have this. Hi, Michelle. How are you? How's Minnie? Can't wait to see you guys again. So we got a real cool guest coming on shortly. His name's Dan Jarvis. Like I said, he's founder, still is, of 22-0. It's for military, first responders, and veterans. And he also does a podcast called Anxiety Guys. And they talk about getting rid of the stigma from trauma and help lowering it down so it's not effective as much. It's helped me out in the past. So, and it's always good to get a touch up. Good taking care of the invalid and putting the babies to bed. Dean said to tell the invalid to quit milking it. Those were Dean's exact words. My wife did plan on being here, but she's worn out from 2 days of a yard sale / moving sale / getting the fuck out of Dodge sale. And today was interesting because it decided to rain for about an hour, then it stopped. Then it would just brighten back up. Then it would rain again. And she's like, well, this is really pissing me off. So if I sound congested, it's from the weather going one way, other way, and just flip-flopping. So Looked like I was trying to pedal a donkey right there when I saw it on the replay. That's kind of weird. You know, when you do this by yourself and nobody's with you, this is really, really strange. Like, really strange. Like, oh, and if you hear people yelling or screaming, oh, that'd be my youngest son. He's playing some weird video game. Yeah. I don't know what, I think he's playing Roadblocks or something, or I'm probably even saying it wrong. I don't know what the hell it is. That's his poster in the background. Like putting pedals on a wheelchair. Oh, God, Chris, of course you're going to call for shots again. I haven't even gotten up to go to the bathroom yet. Chris is making up for last weekend. He is MIA for 2 weekends in a row. Sludger. I got you next, Gigi. Don't worry. Oh, it's not bad when you're with a group of people, but when you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of hard, if you know what I mean. Because you can banter off somebody when it's with yourself and you didn't prepare anything because you were hoping others would be with you. You can't really, unless you start talking to the voices in your head. And yeah, that'd be kind of interesting and weird. Got this cool thing for Father's Day. It's a hollowed out baseball bat. It's called a mug. Yeah. We're trying, Rochelle, to come down or now come up shortly before we go to Dean's. Oh, you're building a model. Oh, cool. What are you building a model of? Anything specific? You got your shirt? She's going to want to see it. She's going to want to see a picture of it there, Dean. And that's not even the shirt she's making for your shindig. She's making shirts for the shindig. We're trying to. Our plan was the end of this month, but because we're moving, it got delayed. So it's probably going to be sometime next month. And then we're going to come back up for Dean's thing. So 3G. Oh, that's cool. Wow. So they called for shots. So without further ado, I'm going to let him do all the introductions himself. This is a good friend of mine. This is Dan Jarvis. Um, Retired Staff Sergeant, United States Army, 22-0, and Anxiety Guys podcast. Without further ado, here's Dan.
Doc, what's up, brother?
Hey, bro, how are you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, man, life's good, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I appreciate the invitation to talk to your audience.
Yeah, you're gonna love these guys. They make me look normal.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Then that's a relative term. What the hell is normal, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Wow, you're even more fancier than I am. You got a big old microphone on there.
Yeah. All good. We do our own podcast, so we have to have some equipment. Got to sound somewhat good.
Ah, okay.
So tell me, man, what you got going on with the mayhem and chaos?
Oh, that's just what we call it while we're on here.
Nice.
Because we've got a guy who's active duty in the Canadian Army who calls for shots every 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I think he's a career E3 or E4 going on 30 years.
Love it. He loves what he does. That's good.
My wife was going to be here, but because we're getting ready to move, she's passed out. So I was actually going to be outnumbered for once. Dean calls him Command Master E3.
Yeah, there you go. So you're in Pennsylvania, getting ready to go back down to Florida, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her sister lives in Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie? Gotcha. I just recently moved up to Georgia from Florida. So as you know, that's where we met, was in Central Florida. So
yeah, Winter Haven.
Yep. Florida's just got a little bit too crowded for me. So I went through divorce and landed up here in Georgia. So
how's that going for you?
Nice. Yeah, I live on a golf course. It's a nice community. It's really rural, very slow, much slower pace than what Florida was. So I live right outside of Augusta, where they do the National Masters Golf Tournament. So
okay,
try to avoid Augusta in April, the first week of, anyways. So, but it's going good, man. Enjoy it.
So tell the listeners a little bit about what you do with 22-0 and Anxiety Guys.
Yeah, if I could, let me just go back to my backstory, if you don't mind. I'm going to give a little bit of context as to what's kind of brought me on this journey. For me, it was March of 2013. Probably was March 2nd. I just came home from a pretty difficult deployment to Afghanistan as an infantryman. I was a squad leader. Half my men got medevaced out of country with injuries. One of my kids was killed. I felt responsible for. All in all, in the squad, we had 8 Purple Hearts, including myself. I stepped on a pressure plate, detonated an IED that was about 5-10 feet away. And my whole world was upside down from that point on. I didn't have any sleep. And when we lost Doug, I was the lead striker truck commander. So I was in the lead vehicle in the convoy. And we had gone off-road on a black route, which means the route hadn't been cleared. And we had just fielded the very first double V-hull strikers in country. So General Dynamics created a double V-hull platform, which was a genius part of some engineers somewhere said, hey, let's do this to the bottom of the vehicles. And, we kind of felt invincible in those things. We felt like they were rolling bunkers, which they were. But the vehicle that actually got hit was an MGS, which was our main gun system. And it was still a flat bottom. So it's a striker with a 105 howitzer on it. So it was specifically targeted. And that's the moment we lost Doug Cordo. And my whole world changed at that point because, I was taking a lot more risks, and the lead vehicle being that we were in such a strong, vehicle, and we had EOD element with us. The whole purpose was us to clear a path, and then EOD was going to be escorted up a mountain to defuse an IED that was found by a dismounted patrol. And when we lost Doug, that was the moment that I really started hating myself because I don't know if it was complacency on my part because of the type of vehicle we were in, not realizing he was not as protected as we were. And, he died. The other 2 in the vehicle were medevaced. They survived. And that was really kind of, you know, the moment I started hating myself was because one thing, I was not 100%. You know, that was 3 weeks after I stepped on the pressure plate and I was getting zero sleep. So I was, you know, as a medic, I was pretty much out of it, more like a zombie. And, you know, the biggest regret was I didn't say something to let somebody else come up and take the point. I should have, you know, tapped out, or at least let another squad leader take point and then take up a different position. You know, those are the things that I had told myself. And that's what got me to, you know, the end of my deployment. I got a Red Cross notice. My mom had a massive heart attack. I did not make it home in time to say goodbye. So really my whole world was kind of upside down when I got back from Afghanistan. And the first thing I did when I got home, and, you know, I met my mother with the Red Cross message was about 3 weeks prior to the closeout of the deployment. So I was sent home by no choice. And it was probably good that they did that. But when I found myself back in Alaska waiting for the guys to come back, I was medicating with alcohol just to sleep. And that just kind of became a routine, and, you know, extremely unhealthy. You're not processing emotions. You're not able to hit your REM sleep cycles. It's a central nervous system depressant. So it does exactly that. It calms the nerves, brings anxiety levels down, but it makes you depressed in the process. And that's when I got to the point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And, you know, as a leader in the military, you know, where do you go for help, right? Here I am. You know, I spent time as a drill sergeant. You know, I had already done a 15-month deployment to Iraq. And, you know, where do you go? You know, do you self-refer, or do you, you know, and then I thought, well, do I do EAP? And then I realized, well, if something's going to get back to the chain of command one way or the other. So for me, suicide became the option, you know, because we know what our bosses think about. You know, we look at PTS as a psychological problem and weakness and all of those things that we tell ourselves. And it was a couple of things that prevented my suicide. One was when I went for the rifle, I heard the kids in the apartment above me just running across the ceiling. And it just really took me out of the moment. It was like, holy crap, that's the stupidest idea on the planet, right? Didn't want to hurt a kid. Didn't have any beef with it, with a small child which a high power rifle round would have went right through the floor, right through my ceiling, their floor. So I passed out that night, like every other night. And then the next morning, Ryan gave me a call. He was one of my soldiers. He said, "Hey, Sergeant Jarvis, did you hear about Corey?" And I said, "Nobody, what happened?" He said, "Corey shot and killed himself last night." So Corey was a 22-year-old soldier. He was a dad. He was a husband. He was kind of like in the football world, he would have been a call to coaches player. I mean, kid did everything was asked of him, was always trying to help other people, you know, and with the exception of maybe his closest friends, nobody had a clue that he was struggling. And then I realized, well, shoot, nobody had an idea that I was struggling. So that week, prepping for the memorial service and seeing how it affected the other men, I realized that this couldn't be my way out. There's absolutely no way. I want to give permission to one of my guys. I saw how much it ripped them all apart emotionally. So I just continued to live my life or my existence with copious amounts of alcohol, you know, and I would get it to the point where I would actually time it so that I would be passed out so that I could wake up in time to go to work and not, you know, be under the influence. So it really just became a routine. Very, very unhealthy. And September 11th, 2014, took my uniform off, was medically retired. I got promoted on the way out to Sergeant First Class because I was a Staff Sergeant promotable. They gave me my orders and said, "See you later." And then the transition journey began. And the transition itself wasn't that difficult because I traded one uniform for another. I had worked law enforcement prior to 9/11, so I went back to that profession. And something really weird happened. I kind of felt normal again for a while. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm past all this, right? You know, I know now why. You know, first responders, they operate in the fight or flight by profession every day of their careers. So you don't feel like a fish out of water doing one of those jobs. That's why so many of us seek those types of positions, whether they're paramedics, firefighters, or law enforcement. I got married after deployment, and when I got vested in the Florida retirement, that's when I left law enforcement, realizing that in my mid 40s, chasing 20-year-old kids through the swamps of Polk County was probably not the best use of my time. And when I took that uniform off, everything came back with a vengeance. You know, the term "the idle mind is the devil's playground" is a real reality that many of us have to deal with. And as many of us hit into our retirement ages, you know, that's when a lot of those, you know, the hamster wheels just kind of go and they go and they go. And the nightmares came back, the night sweats, the night terrors, and things of that nature were, pretty regular. So she's my ex-wife now. We ended up getting divorced, asked me to go get help. And at that point, well, you know what? I have no badge to worry about, and I have no security clearance. So I went to the VA like so many of us do. And the first thing was, here, fill the prescription and take these drugs, right?
Yep.
And that to me was like really not what I was looking for. And then we went through what was called exposure therapy. And that's kind of like taking a tourniquet off of an emotional wound and opening you wide up to all those emotions just kind of flooding back. And I was at a loss for a while. My third appointment at the VA, that they called me the day before and said, hey, we got to cancel and reschedule. The doctor's got to go out of town. So I'm like, cool. All right. Awesome. Well, when can I get back to see him? Well, he has no availability for 4 weeks. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay. So I scheduled 4 weeks later. And meanwhile, everything's just wide open. Nightmares are getting worse. I go to another appointment, and then boom, they call to cancel the one after that. Well, when can I get in? Well, he doesn't have availability on his schedule for 8 weeks. And I'm like, cool. Let me check my calendar and I'll call you back and reschedule. That was in 2017. I'll give you one guess as to how many times they called to check on me. Yep, you got it. 0. They never called to say, hey, when are you going to come back? What's going on? And that's when I realized that I was going to have to find a different way, try to find something else. There's got to be something better than what the VA's got. And so I went down a journey looking for as many alternative treatments as I possibly could to try to fix myself, so to speak. Yeah. And that's when I was like, all right, this is crazy. My ex invited a gentleman to do a leadership training at the sheriff's office. She was a senior level administrator, civilian side. And I met him. We had dinner with him and his wife, and he invited me to do a men's leadership retreat. And that's where I met a bunch of other vets that were in there. And what happened was I met somebody who was working on something in the alternative space of post-traumatic stress, right?
Yeah.
And I was pretty fascinated by it. And I met my best friend, Nick Davis, who was at that event with me. That's where we actually met for the first time. And, he's a financial advisor, and I knew nothing about nonprofits. So I said, hey, man, can you help me with this? How do I get this started? Because that's where I decided I wanted to do 22-0.
Yeah.
It was April of 2018. Matter of fact, it was April 15th. And so he connected us with an attorney. They got us connected helped my ex-wife do all the paperwork to get the licensing, get the 501c3 going. And we kind of got the ball rolling. And the gentleman that was working on that alternative treatment, he was a fundraiser for them. They invited me to come out to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that was sometime around September. No, I think it was August of that year, 2018. That was the very first public training. It was something called the Reconsolidation of Traumatic Memories Protocol, or RTM protocol.
RTM, yeah.
Yep. So
you guys did a friend of mine, John Fanning, right? John Fanning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we did the first training, and I'm listening to these guys to say, hey, how quickly they can heal PTS and whatnot. And, I'm coming out of law enforcement. So I'm like, okay, right. So you're telling me you can fix me in 3 to 5 hours. And the guy was like, yeah, we absolutely can. I said, well, I'm going to experience this. If I'm going to recommend any veteran or any first responder to do this, I want to go through it. So he's like, yeah, you want to do it in front of the class when we come off break? So in that class, there was 25 mental health professionals. And that's where I sat in a chair at the front of the room, and they started that process. It's a fairly long process. It's an 89-line scripted process. And I started telling them my story. And then when you get to that trigger point, they stop you, and then they do their visual exercises, and followed up by a rewind. And we went through all that. And I was probably up there for maybe close to an hour. And then they said, okay, now tell us the story again. So I started telling the story, and it was the story of Doug. And it was weird because when I triggered at the beginning, I was a 10 on a 0 to 10 scale, right? And I'm waiting for the emotions to drop. I'm waiting. And I'm like, where are they? They're not coming. All right. So I looked at the guy. I'm like, dude, what kind of Jedi stuff is this? Right. Because that's something I've been dealing with for a while. Right.
Yeah.
And, we're talking from 2011 to 2018. So for 7 years, I was dealing with that. And I could tell that story with no emotion. And that's when I realized, wow, this is something that's pretty special. So our organization started focusing on paying, for training for therapists to get trained and whatnot. And that's where we ended up meeting you, because in Winter Haven, we brought the organization down and, trained some therapists locally, because the goal was to be able to send people to them,
Yeah.
But the problem with the mental health world at that time, that was pre-COVID, was everything had to be seen in person. So very difficult. And then we'll fast forward a little bit. When COVID hit, all of the money and the funding started to dry up for the nonprofit space. We're like, shoot, what do we do?
Yeah.
And then the other organization got a little bit on the political side, and we wanted to kind of stay away from that. So we went to the roots of the work, what they did, and where this stuff was not new technology. These techniques were developed in the early 1980s and before that even.
Yeah.
Something called neuro-linguistic programming. So we ended up developing our own protocols. All right, one for trauma and one for emotions. And then, I'm not a data guy. I'm not an engineer brain dude. I'm like, hey, I need to know the gun works. I don't need to know how it works. Right.
Yeah.
Trigger pulls, the weapon goes bang. If it's broken, somebody fix it. Right.
Yep.
That's me. But we had a clinical psychologist who worked at the VA, was trained in the other alternative treatments that we had gone through. And she was involved with our organization, and she went through a training with us. And she's like, you got to get the data. You got to get the research. You got to get the research. I'm like, I don't need the research. I see it working. I know it works. She was, you've got to get the research. So I said, okay, Martha. Dr. Corvea was who that was. She's down in the Miami area. So we got.
Yeah, she's awesome. We still talk. Yeah.
She's down there. And the sad part about her is she ended up retiring early from the VA, because they would not allow her to use any of the alternative treatments that she'd learned. She could only do the cognitive processing therapy or exposure therapy. That's it. That was her only option. And they said, if you do any of the other alternatives, the ones that work, you're going to get fired. So she finally said, I quit. She was done. So at least she had some ethics in her backbone, that she just said, I can't be a part of this, and left the VA, which was sad, because she was probably a very good therapist. And so anyways, we do the first study block, all right, of 100 people, right? And all of them, I think their average scores for the PSSI-5, which is the post-traumatic stress disorder symptom interview version 5, the PSSI-5. That's a metric used to score out PTS 0 to 80 points. It's 20 subjective questions. And our average score for that first batch was about 50, I think it was around 56.5 points. So everybody in that group had PTSD. And within 1 to 4 sessions, that score average dropped to 2.12. So when I saw that data, I'm like, holy, I mean, we had a couple in there that were like 3s and 4s, but most of them were 0s, 1s, or 2s. So it averaged out, that 100 averaged out at 2.12. Nobody scored in the PTS or even the subclinical range for post-traumatic stress. I'm like, wow, this is pretty wild. So we said, we got to do this again. This could be just a one-off. So we did another batch of 100. Their scores were averaged about 56. And between 1 and 3 sessions, that group was down to 1.56. We're like, wow, okay, what's going on? Now, the processes that we do for PTS, we do not use any content. So we don't even allow the veterans to talk about their traumatic experiences. Because when the emotion's active, it's malleable. So you got to think of traumas like this. The big event happens, IED blast happens, and then a strong emotion glues to that memory. Right?
Covers it up, yeah.
It covers that memory, and that's the brain's way of protecting you in the future, right? But the problem is when we leave war and we come back to the States, we're in a whole different environment. So that pile of trash on the side of the road isn't really a big deal in the U.S. where it was in Iraq, right?
Yeah.
But the veteran driving down the street sees the pile of trash, and the amygdala goes red alert, and it opens the amygdala up, and boom, that trigger blows up. Now you got to get to safety, right? The brain is trying to protect and preserve your life. That's all it is self-preservation. So, all that stuff happens. And what the process does when that trigger's active and open, it's malleable, which means you can change the state of the emotion attached to that event, right?
Yep.
So all we do is have them think about it. We don't need to have them talk about it to trigger. We do that fluently on our own. We can think about what's going on, and our emotions are all over the place. So we have them think about the traumatic event. All right. Say, for example, I stepped on a pressure plate, detonated an IED that was 5-10 feet away from me. Boom, knocks me on my ass.
Yeah.
And then that's the traumatic moment that you almost died. It wasn't a big deal that moment. It became a big deal when you thought about it afterwards. Like, you're like, holy crap, that just happened, right? So what we do is we create a start point and an end point, right? I'm on top of the mountain in the Shahjoy district between Shamizi and Deftani, the two villages on a mountain.
Yeah.
I'm safe right there, and I create a black and white picture of that moment. And then I was Kazovac back to the FOB. I'm with Major Greenberg at our battalion aid station. He's our battalion surgeon, and that's my end point. I'm safe in those. We call those bookends. And then all we're going to do at that point is watch a dissociated movie. So you'll take the first picture up on the mountain and put it up on the movie screen, or on the phone, or on the computer, wherever you watch your digital content. And then you move to an observer position and you look back. So I'd look back and I'd see Dan watching that movie. And based on how Dan reacts to the movie that he's watching, you make further changes. Well, maybe that 55-inch TV needs to be shrunk down to the size of a cell phone,
further back,
or pushed further away, or turned off in general. There's so many different ways to further dissociate it. And then you get relaxed in those environments, and then you do a quick 2-second rewind. And then the next thing you know, the intensity of the emotions is not there anymore. And then at that point, maybe that 10 is now a 2, and all we do is take them into a good memory and let them think about the birth of a child, a wedding day, just a family vacation, something where they can feel really positive emotions. And we dial those emotions up really intense. And the next thing you know, that 10 that was a 2 is now a 0.
Yeah.
That's it. And once that neural pathway disconnects, think of a fishing line connecting from your amygdala to a picture, and then another fishing line to the picture to the emotion, and then another fishing line back into your brain. So it loops in that negative feedback loop. Once that neural pathway is disconnected in the amygdala, it also disconnects between the memory and the emotion. And then the memory that line gets pulled back into another part of the brain, long-term storage, and the emotions moves back into your hippocampus so that you can use the emotions. It doesn't make you void of emotion. It just makes it so you can no longer feel the emotion on that specific memory.
Yep.
Once that happens, it's called memory reconsolidation, and the brain starts to reprocess. In other words, oh my gosh, you're now tired, you're sleeping, your brain's going into a REM sleep cycle, and it's cleaning out the closet, I say. So it's the REM sleep is where you actually process out emotions. That's the brain's way of, hey, all right, I'm doing rapid eye movement. I'm moving this image over here. I'm moving this emotion over there. And then next thing you know, the brain's good, and you continue, right? Problem with that PTS is the brain tries to process, but it can't, because you're not hitting the REM sleep cycles. Maybe you have insomnia, or maybe you're self-medicating with alcohol, or maybe you're being prescribed medication, which
don't work.
Well, not only did it not work, and this is the hard part, is some of the medications that they prescribe to prevent nightmares block REM sleep. Right?
Yep.
So if your medication's blocking REM sleep, it's preventing you from processing. So that's the fox guarding the hen house. So that's just the one process we use for trauma. Say something like anxiety or anger. Anger is an easy one.
Right? Hey, hold up real quick. We have one of our other hosts on, so I want to bring him on.
Sure.
Do you got earbuds on?
No, I don't.
Okay. Just going to warn you, he's going to do his thing. So for those of you that are listening with headphones, here you go. The one, the only, pterodactyl.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
Always got to do the pterodactyl call.
So T, this is a good friend of mine. This is Dan Jarvis.
Yeah, I've been listening backstage for a while.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, if I take off here in the next couple minutes, I'm dog sitting for my sister. They went out camping, and they're supposed to be coming back to pick them up. Actually, they were supposed to be here between half an hour ago and about 5 minutes from now. So they should be getting here anytime. So if I get up all of a sudden, I'll be back in a minute.
You all good?
So anyways, let me go ahead and finish.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk on emotion like anger. That's a safe emotion for us guys, dudes, right? And when you activate the emotion of anger, you're looking for the first time you could feel that emotion, right? And we'll take somebody all the way back into childhood. You know, an example is you'll take them back to birth and you'll bring them forward to the first time to remember feeling angry. And we're looking for a time where they could still feel it at present moment. That's just an open trigger to a negative emotion. And that typically is the driver, and that's how we react. It's kind of like, anybody ever say, why are you acting like a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
Because you're acting like a 12-year-old. Because it's an emotion that was established at that age. So anything that happened around that moment is what's activating those emotions. So maybe you hear somebody say something, next thing you know, you're pissed off, right? Yep. Because it's just a trigger, right? So all we do with that is activate the emotion, rate the intensity of it, and dissociate you from it. And we'll go back to that birth point, and we're going to reframe it. See, the brain does something called a transderivational search, and this is kind of like from the NLP world, where we have open loops, and the brain's got to make sense out of everything that it hears. If it doesn't, it will make sense of it for you. You'll fill in the loops with your own information, but 9 out of 10 times we take that information out of context. But specifically if we're young, right? Maybe we got angry at the age of 5. You don't know how to process an emotion like that. You're just kind of stuck with it. And all we do is we open those loops back up and we put different information in there and frame it in a way that makes sense. You know, I'll give you an example. Survivor guilt, right? I worked with a World War II veteran. The guy's name is Mel. He was a B-17 waist gunner. Last combat sortie was flying over Normandy on D-Day. So you can imagine the history that guy watched. So survivor guilt was his big emotion. You know, he'd already done RTM on the PTS part. And I took him, he did an episode of Operation Healing Heroes where they captured his story for the Discovery Channel. And I was giving him a ride home. And he's like, Dan, do you think it's ever really gone? I was like, what are you talking about, Mel? He's like, PTSD. I said, what are you feeling? He goes, I felt guilty every day I've set foot on U.S. soil since the war. Imagine that. That dude's 99 years old. He's like 100 now, but he was 99 at the time. And since World War II, he's felt guilty for living. All right. So I said, Mel, that's a beast. That's survivor guilt. That's as equally powerful and can be as devastating as post-traumatic stress, but it's different. Mm-hmm. So I had him activate the emotion and disassociated him. And the way I disassociated him is his best friend Oscar was killed in a B-17 off to the flank. Literally, they'd wave at each other as they're doing missions, and he watched them go down into the ocean. So I put him on Oscar's airplane. I said, Oscar's now going to be on your airplane, and he's the one that's going to survive. What do you want for him in his life? I made him look at that moment from Oscar's perspective. And then he says, well, I would want him to be happy, have a great family, live a good life, be a productive American. You know, I would want him to be happy. I said, Mel, what makes you think he's expecting anything less from you? He stopped, his eyes got really big, and he looks at me and he goes, I've never thought of that. But that one frame change allowed him to look at that entire moment differently. And that allowed the brain to fill in the gaps with information that he was able to put in there to reframe that in a way that made sense to him, and that emotion of survivor guilt left him. Right? For 70 years, he's been dealing with that. So those are the two distinct processes that we use. So whether it's post-traumatic stress, anxiety, panic attacks, grief, survivor guilt, anger, rage, resentment, frustration, rejection, abandonment, I mean, the list can go on of any negative emotion. Your brain has the ability to release those pathways. So that's what we do at 22 Zeros. We train veterans and we train firefighters, we train cops. We've trained a group out of the Border Patrol so that they can work with each other peer to peer. Because the secret is this: you don't need to be a therapist to do this stuff, right?
You taught me. I remember.
Yeah, exactly. So to do this, it's literally, for the trauma work, is an 18-line script we use. And for emotions, it's a 10-line script. It's designed to be a check the block. All right, here's line 1, do this. Here's line 2, do this. Here's line 3, do this. And by the time you get to line 18, that trauma response is not there anymore. So I'd say on average, 2 to 3 sessions, most people are finished. Occasionally, we do have some that go into 4 sessions, but that's the really remarkable part is when somebody comes to 22 Zero, they're not going to get assigned to a therapist. They're going to get assigned a battle buddy, you know, a man, a woman who's been there, who's done that. You know, we've got, you know, cops, we got firemen, we got males, we got females, we got Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force. Don't have any Space Force yet because, like I said, none of them want to get out. But we don't have anybody in those groups yet. So yeah, and that's the really cool part is I would say 90% of actually probably 95% of the men and women that we have serving as coaches all at one time or another had post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, whatever you want to call it. We all had that. So the reality is what's happening is we're changing the conversation from a disorder, because it's not a disorder. The term should be an injury, right? I'm doing a podcast on Tuesday with Dr. Frank Ochberg. I can't wait. He was one of the original editors of the DSM that labeled PTSD for the very first time. So back in the early 80s, when they finally added that to as a disorder, he said immediately they realized they screwed up. He said they screwed up because they should have never labeled it a disorder. And he's been on a mission to change it to PTSI ever since. Now, mind you, this is one of the original guys. He's a psychiatrist. He lives in Florida. His whole mission since then is to change it to post-traumatic stress injury, because that's really what it is. You know, if you break an arm, what do? You go to the hospital, you put a cast on it.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way it is. If people would understand that trauma is just an injury, your foot's stuck on the gas pedal. That's all that's going on. Your nervous system is overactive. Your limbic system has hijacked the brain. And all we do is teach you how to take your foot off the gas pedal so it can quiet down and slow the noise so that you can sleep, you can process, you can not trigger, you can live productive, healthy lifestyles. You know, we've had people, stop using drugs. We had one Army veteran up in Iowa who was on methamphetamines for a decade because he didn't want to sleep, right? Like, I don't know how that worked out, but we ended up doing 2 sessions with him, and he walked away from his meth dealer, right? Got his job back, got his kids back, is living a normal life again.
His meth dealer must be pissed.
Oh, his meth dealer was trying to sell him.
Who cares about his fucking meth dealer?
Right. And he's like, nope, I'm good. I don't need you. I don't need you anymore. Because he wasn't scared. He wasn't scared to go to sleep again. So I mean, we've had so many stories like that. It'll just blow your mind. It's extremely rewarding. I saw somebody had made a comment about needing a mission and purpose. One of the things that ends up happening when we do transition out of military service is we're drifting, right?
Yep.
What do we do? How many veterans get fired or quit jobs or quit college because they can't relate or connect with the idiots that are around them? All right, that's what's going on. You got to get a purpose. The first thing I did was, when I left the sheriff's office, was I volunteered to be a service officer of the American Legion, and I did that for probably about a year and a half. And I got my joy in helping people stick it to the VA, right? I got excited when somebody got an award of 100%, because now, I just took another $3,200 a month out of the VA's budget, right? Stuff like that, or dependent compensation for a widow because her husband was a Vietnam vet, died. I was blessed. I think the first one I ever did with somebody, and I actually did her claim for, was my aunt. My uncle passed away in 2005. He was a Vietnam vet. And in 2017, we put her DIC packet together, and she got approved. And then we did a notice of disagreement on his date of death. And 6 months later, she calls me and says she got $171,000 back pay. So that's the way I would stick it to the VA. So if you're out there and you're looking for a mission, go to your American Legion. All right, we got to get some young blood in the legions, because they're getting to the point that are going to be aging out. And if we don't replace them, they're going to become like an AAFP organization. But if you're needing a purpose, do something like that.
I should get back into mine, actually. I should get back into my local American Legion. When I first got back from Iraq and got out of the Marine Corps, I joined the one out in Elmira, Wisconsin, which doesn't even exist anymore. The post has since folded. But I went there because my grandpa was a Korean War veteran, and so I went because he went, and then after he died, I kind of fell off of it. But I should go back.
We're going to have to do something to try to fix, because we do need to get some younger blood in the American Legion, because it is the largest veteran organization on the planet. They've got the ability to make changes at the DC level. Yep. So anyway, purpose. You got to have a mission. You got to have a purpose. You got to find something. You got to get plugged into a group, because in the military, what do? We rely on a squad, our team, and then we become civilians, and then we try to do everything by ourselves. Yep. And we're lost. That's a problem. We got to, find the veterans in your community, even if you're not in an American Legion somewhere. start doing, some of the ruck walks or do something as a collective group, because we got to keep that community together in order to be able to lean on each other. That's really what's going to keep us moving forward. What you got going on there, Doc?
That ain't me.
I think my son's practicing his trumpet upstairs.
Oh, T.
I can hear him.
Tell him to bring it down here and practice. We'll get an audience.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's what you're doing in the house.
My dog was looking around like, what's that? So, yeah. Anyway, we gotta get plugged in. We gotta get start doing things as groups. Whether it's a civic project somewhere, helping a World War II vet rebuild a deck on their house. There's got to be some things that we can look at. We look at it from a perspective. I love training veterans to do this, because every veteran that comes to us that we heal, well, that's one person that we're taking away from the system. Because I can tell you this right now, Doc, the system doesn't want to fix what's going on.
Nope.
Big Pharma controls the narrative when it comes to mental health in the United States, right? But let's go back to Dr. Ochberg. What he said that shocked me was, whenever a diagnosis, any new label is made for that DSM, and that's a fast-growing book.
Yeah.
Because whenever there's a new label, he said within 18 months, there's a corresponding pharmaceutical drug made for that disorder. And that book alone, the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual, earns $100 million a year to the American Psychological Association, which is why they won't take PTSD out of that book. They get paid a lot because the insurance companies have grabbed onto that book like a Bible. So anybody that gets therapy somewhere has got to have a code. Everyone's got to have a diagnosis so that insurance can pay the therapist. And so many people get mislabeled, misdiagnosed. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's the interesting part of it is it's kind of like David versus Goliath. And Goliath being Big Pharma, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association, because you know who the only people are that have problems with what 220 is doing? Have initials before and after their names.
Uh-huh.
Those are the only ones. However, let's go back to the cop in me. When they told me that it wasn't possible and I couldn't do it, I went to the book, right? It's called the Florida State Statutes, right?
Yeah.
I started looking in the requirements and there's an exemption, right? 501c3s are exempt from licensing requirements as long as they don't take a fee from their clients and they treat the entire family and they don't say they're licensed. Check, and check, right?
Yeah.
So we get folks that say stuff to us about that. And I had a psychologist who told me that they're the gatekeepers. And I'm like, according to whom? And she says, according to my profession. I said, well, you should probably look to the people. And this was Dallas. Said, you probably should look to the people of the state of Texas, because they're the ones that elect the representatives that write the laws that say, I can do the exact same thing you can do.
Yeah.
I just charge a fee. All your license does is allow you to charge a service so they can collect taxes. That's it. Not discounting therapy. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when it comes to trauma, the neurological stuff, they're horrible at fixing it, because you can't talk your way out of PTSD. It's just not going to happen.
Well, you remember the ones they put me through,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't even need to go through the majority of that crap.
Yep. And how many medications did they put you on?
At one point in time, I was on 23 different pills, and each one of those pills was 2 to 10 pills each.
Wow. Well, I remember you telling the story about, I think you said it was Zoloft. You were on Zoloft?
Yeah, I was at the hospital. The highest level of Zoloft you could take is 300 milligrams. They called the FDA to get me to take 350 milligrams. And the person on the phone goes, is this person even a human? They had me on 2,000 milligrams of trazodone to sleep. And I was still sleeping 2 hours a night.
That's crazy. But that's the beast that we're dealing with. The system is it's all about profit money, right? So that's what I love about what we do at 22-0 is we never take a dollar from any veteran, active duty, first responder, spouse, or children that live in the home. We take no money for it. We totally remove the profit from the equation, and and we actually pay our coaches to work with them. So it's a double whammy. We get to pay them, we get to heal them. Boy, pterodactyl, that's awesome.
I think he's starting. I think he's starting a boy band, and he doesn't want to tell anybody.
I thought that maybe they were done up there, and then all of a sudden it kicked right back in. I had the mic muted earlier, so everybody couldn't hear it. And, oh no, not done yet. Better mute again.
Nice.
But yeah, one thing I was thinking too with what you were saying was, why can't we get like a version of school choice, but for medical care for veterans, where your tax dollars with school choice, the idea is move the tax dollars you'd use for a student for the public schools into a private school so they could go there. Why can't we get where the public money we'd be using to pay the VA would go to private practice?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I can tell you right now, the RTM protocol that Doc and I had gone through was studied at Walter Reed. It was a 2-year clinical trial, and it was supposed to publish in September of 2021. It is still not published. Accelerated resolution therapy did the same comparison study. Both of them were studied against the prolonged exposure, and that one was done before the RTM study, and it's not been published. Why? What are they afraid? What are they afraid that the world's going to see that there's something better than what the VA is using? Because here's the problem. For prolonged exposure, it's a 12-week program, right?
Yep.
12 weeks per traumatic experience. And it doesn't take those pathways away. It kind of gets you comfortable being uncomfortable. So RTM, let's use that for an example. And they're actually evidence-based now. So they could use it, right? We're not evidence-based because we don't care. We don't need the research that the clinical world needs because we're not doing it to bill insurance. That would be the only reason to get evidence-based.
Yeah, only to bill, yeah. So
RTM, you could do 5 sessions with one veteran and wipe out their entire lifetime traumatic experiences, every single one. Because once that 10 goes to a 0, it's gone, right? You just keep going down the list. And if you can identify the earliest events in the person's life and the biggest events, you'll fix that problem. Now, they still may have like sadness issues or grief. Trauma is trauma. It's a little bit different. That's fear, terror, helplessness. But it can at least let the brain start to process so you can sleep more. You still, that's why I like what we do with the emotions work, because we do trauma and emotions at the same time. So once you get that trauma gone, that's the bear hug. You got to go for the anger, and you got to go for the resentment. You got to go for the shame and the guilt and all the other stuff. But 5 sessions of RTM and the VA would be done. That one veteran would be healed of PTS, and then they could go on to the next person and the next person, and their backlog would get fixed, and people wouldn't be scared to go to therapy because it's not as intense as exposure. It's just a brief exposure, and then they get you out of it. But hopefully one day we'll change that conversation at that level, or they just will be a lot less relevant,
Well, you were there when I did mine. Why don't you tell them what it was like to sit there and watch me?
So yours was the longest I've ever seen anybody go through RTM. And I got nervous at one point. I'm like, it's not going to work. 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 And then boom, once you had that release, Star, your service dog, she literally stood up, wagged her tail, and laid back down. There was not a dry eye in that room. All the therapists were like crying. It was like extremely emotional, because one doc finally, released that traumatic death grip on that pathway. His dog alerted to it. It's like, oh, Dad, this is a new emotion. I like this. Yeah. I'm gonna lay back down. And that was a really cool part. But you were up there for about 75 minutes, and that was a pretty long time. And most people you see are done in right about an hour, because Alan had to do a lot of changing the bookends, and he did a lot of maneuvering to get that thing narrowed down to where it needed to. But the thing is, you got it right, and it was a pretty big event. I believe it was another medic that you worked with that, once you realize exactly.
My best friend.
once you realize that you weren't the reason he died, it was just like that aha moment where that pathway just let it go. And it was pretty wild to watch it.
There was one point, I don't know if you remember, because I remember sitting in that tall chair.
Yep.
That tall chair was about ready to take flight.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why Alan was really good at his sensory acuity, because he made adjustments when they needed to be made and got you really quickly, and I say quickly because 75 minutes is quick when it comes to dissipating a traumatic emotion. That's fast. The clinical world can't do that. There's nothing that they can do that can do that. So it's really neat to actually watch the process. And for us, like the 18-line script, and we've learned too that we can bundle emotions. Like you can activate 4 or 5 traumatic triggers and bookend the period of time and literally rip them all out at the same time. It's like a cast net. You get that rewind piece, and the next thing you know, there's 5 traumatic emotions are gone. And I did one she was a Hillsborough County deputy sheriff, and she had 3 big traumatic events in her 9 years. And we bookended that 9-year career. There were 3 10s, and she was so visual. It took me 10 minutes to do the work, and all 3 of those 10s dropped to zeros. Right. Incredibly. Right. So cool. It's so cool to watch. We just did a conference in Florida with law enforcement, the Florida Association of Hostage Negotiators. And we got a 2-hour block in the morning and a 2-hour block in the afternoon. So we demonstrated the process with 155. You want to talk about skeptical people. Cops are very, very skeptical.
Yes.
So we had 155 law enforcement officers, and the whole purpose was to show them the process. So we didn't bring our own demonstration. We asked for somebody in the audience that we had never met before, and they came up and did the demo. And it wasn't a very big trigger. It was probably a 5 stress number, and it got to a 0 in about 10 minutes. And every time I do a group, I'll always say this: all right, who tried to do it themselves while I'm sitting up here running it? It's like 5 hands go up. So you got 5 cops in the room trying to do the process because, and then one of the guys came up. He was 52, 53, a black dude, about 6'2", looked like a SWAT guy, and just looked young. And he's just very physically fit. And he was, man, I got high blood pressure. I'm like, how do you have high blood pressure? Well, stress, right?
Yeah.
So he had tried to do the process, and he stopped himself because he was a 9 out of 10 on a stress. So I said, come on up, let's break up with that 9. And he came up, and 10 minutes, that 9 was a 0. And you could have seen the relief that he had. And everybody's like, are you serious? That's all it takes. We worked with 30 cops on site at that conference. After they watched those 2 sessions, we had people coming out of the woodwork. We had 30 on site, and then we probably had another 10 from that conference. And there was only 300 there. So we're talking like 10% of the cops, right? Because love them or hate them, all right, I did that job. It's not an easy job to do. They're dealing with shit every single day they work, right? It's not like, it's like every day. It's a 30-year career for many of them. So there's a study out that an average police officer will experience 188 traumatic events in a 30-year career, right? And their civilian counterparts like 2, right? And then we wonder why they're dying 20 years younger. It's because of stress. Stress is a big killer. So
and the suicide rate's insane for both cops and corrections. I used to work in corrections for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the suicide rate, especially right after guys retire, is through the roof.
I tell you, that's that out of mind I was talking about earlier. When they retire and slow down, that's when all those thoughts come back up. And if they don't deal with it or process it, because if they're not working those 12-hour shifts, guess what's on their mind? All that crap. All that crap, and it activates that nervous system, and it just floods the system. It's horrible. So cops, firefighters, corrections officers, all of them, we're losing more to suicide than line of duty deaths every year. That's not something that's very public, but it's a reality that has to get addressed because, one, they don't want to talk about it because it's bad for recruiting. But now it's like in Florida is probably our biggest presence. So we've trained about a dozen sheriff's offices in Florida, some peer support teams. We're up to like 4 fire departments, because our goal is to be able to go in and train their guys to do what we do, so that they can just work internally, right? They don't have to come to 22-0. They're welcome to, and some of them will send them to us anyway. But like, let's take Lakeland Fire Department. Lakeland, Florida. Doc.
Yeah, me and you. What was that second? Was it in Lakeland or just?
Well,
it was after Winter Haven.
Yeah, it's right next to Winter Haven. So Lakeland is a pretty good size. It's probably the largest city in Polk County. But we'd worked with like 30 of their firefighters. And then they finally brought us down to do their peer support program because they saw how it was impacting them. UCF Restores, not knocking them. UCF Restores does exposure therapy with virtual reality. Okay, yes, I'll knock them. That stuff is horrendous. So they did a training at the Lakeland Fire Department, and the chief was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I'll never let my guys go do your stuff. We got 22-0. We're good, right?" Because you don't want to have to talk about your stuff or have to relive it and experience it over and over and over and over and over. And then the VR stuff is, I mean, are you kidding me? You're going to put the smell of burning flesh and virtual reality goggles into a scenario to try to make somebody better? How is that even possible? But anyways, I digress.
Did you see
one of the worst things I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, did you see that video that went kind of viral? Maybe it was about 2 weeks ago, where there was that veteran sitting in his car after his.
The Marine vest? Yeah.
No, he was Army. He was Special Forces.
Oh.
Yep. So he's good. All right. One of our coaches, Abel, was a 7th group guy, retired, worked with him and reached out. We've already done like 3 or 4 sessions with him. He's doing fantastic. So, but that's the system. That's what we're dealing with as veterans. Is he was talking about big on the continuity of care, just not getting any continuity of care. Kind of like me, like getting dropped 4 weeks, 8 weeks. How many other people do you know, Doc, that's in that group? A lot of people just get left. Now, medically, the VA is not bad when it comes to arthroscopic stuff. I mean, if you got to have like a surgery or you need medication.
Yeah, they're pretty quick on it. Yeah.
Quick on that stuff. Their mental health is what sucks.
Yeah, big time.
But yeah, that guy Joseph, man, he's doing great. He's doing well. He's got no more PTS issues to deal with. He was pretty blown away by it. So what's next for you, Doc? When are you coming down to Florida?
Actually, we are hitting the road sometime Friday morning, and sometime Friday night, 2 in the morning, we'll be in Port St. Lucie.
Nice. Well, good. Good for you.
I'm kind of excited because
I do miss Florida, though. I do like the weather.
Yeah, I thought coming up here would be good, but I really did miss North Carolina because that part of North Carolina where I was at was really fun and quiet. But yeah, we all need a fresh start. So
good. Well, whatever we can do to help your family out, you got us. You're all covered anyway. So feel free to reach out. I can have Trisha reach out to you if you want Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
You guys can start getting on people's schedules, and then we'll kind of roll it out from there. I would like to let everybody know, I don't know what your audience is or how many veterans are out there, but the treatment
majority of them are all veterans.
The treatment is free. There's 0 costs. It's covered by foundations. All you got to do is take that step, that leap of faith. You'll build a rapport with the coach that you're going to be assigned. You'll do the work. They'll walk you through it, and they'll do the number of sessions required to get you where you need to be. Like I said, mostly it's 2 to 3. Occasionally we go into 4, and usually they're about an hour-long sessions. Never be allowed to talk about trauma. We don't want you discussing your traumatic experiences with our coaches. One, it's safer for you, and it's also safer for the coach, because vicarious trauma is real. You can literally traumatize somebody with your life experience.
Yep.
I know some people probably have a hard time believing that, but it's absolutely true. You see it in the veteran space with spouses all the time. If the husband's carrying trauma, the spouse is carrying trauma, vice versa. They're walking on eggshells. Same thing with your cops and firefighters, which is why a lot of them don't communicate what they experience at work, and then that creates issues. So the moral of that story is get help at 220.org is the email. I'll put that in the comments. Get help at 220.org. The case manager, Tricia, she's a social worker, will reach out. She'll do your scores and then assign you a peer coach. And that peer coach will connect with you, and whatever your schedule is, Warriors for 22 on TikTok, nonprofit, actually helps. Good for them.
I'm trying to make a new one for you.
What's
it called?
Get help at 220.org is the website, or it's the email. It's 220.org is just the website. But no cost for the veteran, no cost for the veteran's spouse, and no cost for the veteran's children. So no paperwork, no insurance, no EAP, nothing. Make sure it's all just get help and then the @ symbol.
Oh, okay.
So it's get help, one word, and then the @ sign, and then 220.org. And that'll get a direct line email to our folks. If you know any first responders, same thing. If you got friends that are cops or firefighters, they're covered. Their spouses are covered. Their kids are covered. However, if there's civilians out there that same thing. We created the Anxiety Guys platform specifically for civilians, because we've had first responders come through Anxiety Guys, and we send them right over to 220 because we refuse to take their money. And the civilian side, they can get the same kind of healing. They just have to pay for it. And eventually the Anxiety Guys side is going to be paying for administrative costs of 220, because unfortunately we get lost in the noise, because there's over 45,000 veteran nonprofits in the U.S., probably another 10,000 first responder nonprofits. So, and we all know who gets the lion's share of those dollars, the organizations that really don't do what they should be doing. You guys got any questions for me before I bounce out of here?
Anybody got any questions for Dan?
Anybody in the audience?
Hey, Kyle, on that StreamYard editor, there should be a option to put a banner underneath our screen. I don't know.
It's on right there.
No, but I mean like a scrolling one. So once you take it down, then there'll still be a scroller across the bottom. Minnie will have to. Yeah, that'll work for now. I was gonna say, because if we're gonna put comments up later.
Yeah. Oh, making a ticker. Okay. That's what I should have done, is made a ticker.
Somebody's getting some tunes going.
Oh, yes. So yeah, we got Sammy's up there. Sammy's up there singing right now.
Sing it. Don't discourage it. Encourage it.
Yeah, Sammy's
that's awesome.
Well, we got, my wife's Filipina, so one thing about the Filipinos is they love karaoke, and so we got this new karaoke microphone, and she's up there belting it out.
It's funny.
Plus, we put a stream bar on the TV too, so the sound's a little bit louder up there now.
The best thing I can say about this treatment, if you do go through it, you never, ever, really ever have to talk about what happened. It's voodoo. It's all I can say. And when you're actually able to get it out of your head, you're going to sleep for the first time ever.
Yeah.
I can attest to it. And I've actually given 57, 56 people this treatment. And it does work. So, because he sent me through, what was it, in 2021 while in COVID?
Yep.
I believe it was. Yeah.
You did the online training.
Yeah, via Zoom for 3 days.
Yep. It's 3-day training. So 3 days, you come out with the skills to be confident enough to do the process, both processes, the emotions management process and the trauma resiliency protocol. And it's simple.
Chris wants to know, can you do it in person, on phone, Zoom?
You can do it all the above. As long as
all the above.
I prefer not to do traumatic stuff on a phone, because I want to make sure you're not diving in the emotional rabbit hole, because the key is getting you out of that. All you want to do is get a whiff of the onion. You don't want to have to smell the whole onion. So we like to see you for that. So that could be in person or it could be on a virtual platform. I have done it over phones. If I have no choice, I will do it over a phone. We're pretty good at keeping them pretty safe, because the key is a brief activation of the trigger, and that's it. So if I can stop that trigger at a 5 and not get to a 10, it'll still work. That 10 will be gone. It'll doesn't have to get super intense. But we have to get you out of that state. We call that a break state. So we'll do goofy things like make you look up at the ceiling and see the number 100 and count backwards to 0 by 7s out loud so we can laugh at you. And forcing the brain to do logic causes those emotions to move out of the way, because it requires an equal amount of energy as the emotions do. And the next thing you know, that emotional intense trigger is no longer intense, because you've done math and it's basically forced that emotion out of the brain. That's called a break state. And the cool part is when the trigger is active, there's a 4-hour window that you have that you could disconnect it. So if you were triggered 2 hours before a session, you don't even have to go back into that memory. You can just set up your bookends and run the process and disconnect it. So I've done it as far as like 4 hours out. So it's pretty wild. And it's free. There's no cost. And we would report nothing to the VA. We've had 2 people request subpoenas on records of what we did with sessions. And both of them, different lawyers, says, what the hell is this? I mean, it's what you wanted. That's all we got. We have no idea what they were working on. But there's just numbers and check marks. Yeah, we're just checking how many times we did the dissociation and what their SUDS was before and after. That's all that was. So nothing gets reported, and the VA won't believe you anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know, I told my VA psychiatrist after I went through it that I wanted to get reevaluated, and the guy's like, why, what's wrong? I said, well, there's nothing wrong. I don't have PTSD anymore. You know, give the money to somebody who needs it. And he says, you can't cure PTSD. You're going to have it the rest of your life. You just need to take medication and do therapy. I'm like, all right. After the 3rd session with the psychiatrist, I'm like, it's not you, doc, it's me. I'm breaking up with you. And I don't go to a psych anymore. So
that's amazing.
And they're still paying me. So, oh well, it's on them. They're just going to print more money anyway.
Yeah, just put it towards your organization.
Yeah. So anybody needs to get a hold of me personally, my cell phone number is 863-221-6304. Give me a call. Just don't crank call me at 3 a.m. And now somebody will do that just because I said that. But
he will answer. And if you need his phone number, just reach out to me. I'll give it to you. He's a really great guy. He's helped me out several times. And he was there when I talked about, I think that was the first time I ever talked about it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a video. He's got a video of him talking about it somewhere.
I got some videos or pictures of you anyway. I remember this. I'm gonna tell a little story if that's
go
okay.
for it.
I'll finish it with this. When I first met Kyle, I don't think he realized what he was getting into. He was, just basically, I think
I was duped. I was told I was going out for lunch.
Well, that's the best lunch you ever had, brother. Anyway, he comes over. He's got Star Service dog, and one of the ladies that hosted the training, she says, "Can I pet your dog?" He goes, "No, she's working." Like really sharp and quick, matter of factly. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Well, the funny thing is, the next day he comes back in. He slept that night. Such a different person. Takes her vest off, says, "Hey, everybody play with Star," and everybody's like petting the dog, and and it's like, it's crazy. It's such a quick difference, and it sounds a little hooky. It sounds voodoo. It sounds crazy. It's just neuroscience. It's just the fact that we figured out the map that the order of the events need to be put in to allow your brain to reprocess it. That's all we're doing, is moving things around in a way that lets the brain reprocess and release those pathways. We've got brain maps with pre and post treatment that shows the injury. We ended up buying a QEEG Evox out of Evoke Neuroscience. We bought one of their machines. We're going to do a study with about 100 first responders. You can actually see PTS and depression. The brain frequencies emit electricity, and you can literally see the before and the after, which is going to change the conversation from illness to injury. Because, Dr. David Hagedorn, we did a podcast with him with Anxiety Guys, and he was like, what you guys did in one day would take 6 months for an EMDR master practitioner to do. And he says most master practitioners will never achieve that level. He goes, this needs to get studied. He goes, what you guys are doing is profound. It proves it's neurological and it's not a placebo that's happening, because you can actually see the brain changing in real time. And it's not something you can fake. It's not something you can, pretend. It's literally the brain frequency. You can't control that by your thought, right? And it's pretty wild to actually see it. Anyways, that's all I got, man. I appreciate you guys letting me come on here. And if anybody contacts you guys directly, send them over to us. There's no reason you can't sleep well. I tell everybody, you're not going to lose your benefits. Nobody, whatever you say to the VA is entirely up to you. I chose to tell them that I was healed, and I probably put a note in there that I was even more crazy, but hey, whatever. And it's all good. We just want to help you sleep really good at night and keep those guns out of our heads.
Yep.
That's all we're trying to do, is trying to become irrelevant. We don't want to exist as an organization. So when we hit that 0, mission's over, right? I hope I see that in my lifetime. We got some really cool stuff coming. I can't disclose yet, but 5 years in existence, we're starting to make some connections that are going to put us at a level that are, where we need to be, because people need to know they can heal. They need to know, right? Don't buy the big pharma lie that you need their medication. Don't buy the, I'm not poo-pooing therapy. There is a place for cognitive therapy, but the problem is you got to get the 800-pound gorilla off your back first, and then you can go do therapy that's successful. That's when the cognitive stuff works, is when you don't have your emotions all over the place. So, and I will leave you with one metaphor. All right. And this is the box of crayons. All right. T, don't get excited. It's got nothing to do with the Marines. All right. Guys, we have an 8-pack of crayons. Those are our emotions. We know exactly what they are. Ladies, y'all got a 16-pack. And we're like, what the hell are those other 8 emotions, right? You know what they are, though. And then there's a 64-pack of crayons. That's the trauma emotions, and we have no idea what fuchsia is. That's why we get so overwhelmed in those moments, is because our body is being flooded with fuchsia, and it's extremely confusing. But you can set a watch to it, right? 90 seconds. It's going to run. You're going to run a 90-second trigger, right? And it's going to come in waves. So when you realize that you're in that triggered phase, start your clock and know in 90 seconds this too shall pass, right? It's not an indefinite, permanent thing. That's just the way the brain reacts. So if you find yourself getting overwhelmed like that, know it's going to go. You're going to go through cycles, right? But those 90 seconds, the reason why service dogs are so important is because they make those 90-second waves of emotions 15 to 20 seconds. They get you out of your emotions and out of your head and into, what are you doing, dog, as you're licking their face? They're licking your face. And that's why they're successful. And then you could come to 22-0, and we'll make those 90-second waves of emotions go away. I will help you to reset your nervous system. You're driving the car, we're just holding them out. And we just want to heal you.
Hey, I don't know. Did you check the messages here from Who Knows 335? I don't know. Kyle knows who our regulars are on their YouTube. I got to get used to everybody's YouTube handles now.
Yes, Who Knows 335. Definitely have him reach out to us. We got vets, cops, whoever he needs. We got cops that were vets. So let us help him out. We'd love to.
You can reach out, Dan, on Facebook.
Yep.
Through 22-0 or Anxiety Guys.
Yep. Anxiety Guys is for your civilian friends. If they want to do some work, they can come on but they're gonna have to pay for that. All right. Oh wow. We actually have I'm gonna finish one story, because I've talked bad about the therapy world, and I shouldn't, all of them. We got a guy, Charlie Burkhart, who is in Virginia Beach area, who's a retired 28-year police officer, but he was also a Vietnam vet. The guy's crushing it. That guy is working with 6 clients a day.
I know who knows his now.
What's that?
He called me. I know who it is now.
Who is it?
Hey,
I think he did earlier in the show too, and I just forgot.
So this guy, Charlie Burkhart, he's a Vietnam vet and retired cop, has worked with over 1,000 clients in the last 12 months. All right. That was our original hope, is we'd find therapists like Charlie. All right. We got another guy, John Brennan or John Becker up in Pennsylvania. He's a retired cop. Same thing. He's killing it. So usually the therapists that were veterans or former first responders tend to get it. The civilian therapists, they're a whole different breed in themselves. I'll just leave it at that. All right.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys. You're awesome.
Hey, anytime you want to come on, maybe like once a month or something.
Okay.
You're always welcome, brother.
Come on. Yeah. Maze wants to say hi.
Oh, there.
Doing, man.
That's new.
Yeah, Maze. Well, Maze came. I actually inherited her literally. A Navy vet, Jared Hill, had her. Was a friend of mine. We were trying to get him out of a situation he was in. He ended up taking his own life. So I picked her up at his funeral, and she's my service dog, but I'm more her service human. So
yeah.
The cool thing is she gets to travel with me everywhere we go.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right, I'm here for your people.
Does it?
Awesome.
If anybody has anything, just reach out to me, and I'll send you directly towards Dan.
Sounds good, guys.
All right.
Y'all be well.
You too, brother. Great seeing you.
Good seeing you too. Safe journey to Florida.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
I'll try and swing. I know we're driving through Georgia, so I'll let you know where we're going to be at.
Okay. Yeah, I'm over near Augusta. So if you're going to go down like 95 or 75, you'll
77.
77. All right. You're probably a ways away, but you're welcome to stop by. I'll be here.
You can finally meet the new one, the better one.
All right. We'll see you guys, man. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
So you haven't made the move yet. I know it's kind of looking a little different behind you right now. Getting everything ready. But
yeah, we're slowly getting ready to. We will be on the road next Friday morning.
Nice. I mean, you guys are going on Atlantic side, right?
Yeah, the Atlantic side. Yeah. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I was wondering earlier because I just noticed the Bumblebee poster and things look different behind. I was like, are you guys in the new place yet? Then I checked the stat map thing earlier and saw you were still in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm in the dining room now because we sold our couch.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you just sitting on like a slotted wooden chair?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, they called for shots earlier, so.
Oh, yeah. I just took it.
So what's new with you, T, besides growing your beard back again?
Yeah, it's got to start coming back in. Admirals failed me again. Every year with those guys. But yeah, this weekend we were dog sitting for my sister. I left a little bit earlier because her husband came over and picked him back up. They got a deaf rescue dog. So.
Oh, that's kind of interesting and weird.
Yeah, it is what it is. He's a decent dog, but yeah, he relies so much on his smell and his taste, so he's always in your lap, even though he's like 102 pounds, sitting there. And then kids didn't like it too much because he drools a lot, but yeah, he was decent to watch after. Just the only thing is, like, he goes outside and then he wanders over into the neighbor's yard and you can't call him back because he can't hear you. So,
yeah.
Other than that, it was decent watching him.
So you ready to rip into some memes?
Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, I should have. I'm supposed to send them to your actual account, not the.
Yeah, send them to mine on Messenger.
Yeah,
I'll just upload them
here while you're doing them.
Oh, I'll just wait till they come in. Yeah,
there you are.
It's a really good organization. They do a lot. And I wouldn't recommend it if I hadn't gone through it. So.
All right, I sent 6 of them.
Okie dokie.
I didn't have many this week. I've been working hard this week.
I've got.
I have more than that.
I think 56 alone by myself.
All right, well then we're good.
The majority of them are fucking submarine memes.
Yeah, the unfortunate 5 under. Not good.
Yep. All righty. And now for you all's viewing pleasure, memes of the week. Oh, don't worry, Chris. I think I've posted some of yours.
Chris sent 5,000 this week. That's got to be a record.
He sends me shit every day, religiously.
Oh, yeah, he sends me plenty of stuff, too. I love getting those messages. I got to do sports church more, though. He gives me good sports church material, and then I'm always busy on Sundays.
Okay, got to send forward.
Yeah, there's the ones I just got. Oh, we're getting behind the scenes here.
Oh.
You're sharing the screen while you...
Who cares? Sent. Okay. Close that bitch out. Shut down. Shut down. Shut down. And
we're in some premium radio right here.
all righty. So if you can they see this?
Yeah. I'm seeing it fine.
Okay, so just gonna go over here. All right.
I gotta stop trying to share the show out.
All right.
My messenger groups. Pay more attention to actually.
I can't. It's too big. Said that she did. Lips of an Angel or something. I don't know. Whatever Hinder song sang. See? There's the oats and oats and oats. Yeah. Nice gun, though.
All's the notes, Mike.
Fucketh about and findeth out.
I like that. The old English.
So, everybody that has ever wondered, this is the proper way to mount your toilet paper, as originally patented in 1891. Growing a beard, not a mullet. When you find out the girl you had a one-night stand with your baby says, don't worry about it. Yep, Casey Anthony, yeah. Mom of the Year. My bad.
Ouch.
Starting December 5th, customers will be required to unload semi-trucks at Walmart. This will be in addition to your self-checkout duties.
Yeah, because I work for the fucking place now.
You do? Oh, son of a biscuit eating.
Son of a bitch. No, I don't. But I do every time I check out.
Cum Bubble complained to HR, so now we can't use nicknames at work anymore. U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. Your x-ray showed a broken rib, but we fixed it with Photoshop. Sounds about right.
Oh, man.
When you thought you hit a dog, but it was a drag queen leaving an elementary school.
I'll take it.
HGTV be like, I work part-time at a daycare. My husband breeds 1 million salamanders. Our budget, $1.3 million.
Breeded 1 million salamanders? Well, they might actually have that 1.3 million.
Yeah.
I mean, do salamanders go for more than $1 a piece?
I have no idea. I didn't even know you could get salamanders legally. Be careful when you shop online. Ordered a German Shepherd. Now this guy lives with us. Revenge can be bittersweet, but if you sit back and watch, karma can be pure entertainment. Coming from Alfred Hitchcock.
The last meme that was up though, when you had the Amish looking dude, the German Shepherd. I couldn't stop thinking of the dicks from Letterkenny.
Oh, with the gash? 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink. The only thing that can stop a bad boy with a gun is a good boy with a gun.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Things are getting real now.
Yeah, when a dachshund's carrying a gun bigger than him.
Such a good boy.
A pound of grasshoppers is 3 times as nutritious as a pound of beef. Keep your guns, America.
Fuck this fucking New World Order bullshit.
Oh, not again.
Ow.
And there it went. Son of a biscuit. Okay. Where'd it go? Moving back.
We're gonna have to get you a new computer here at some point.
Right here. Okay, we'll start right here. Me trying to get back on base because local PD has no jurisdiction there. Is that Gritty?
Yes, that's Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Islam is a religion of peace. There's a piece of you over here and a piece of you over there.
Skeletor.
I can never get Skeletor memes. I can never have a problem with. This is from Bronze Star Coffee. He sponsors the show. He's a dear friend of mine. There should be a coffee truck that drives around blasting bagpipe music in the mornings. And when we run out with our truck to the truck like ice cream, but it's for coffee.
Oh, God. Why do I gotta see this? Why do I gotta see this, man? No. When you find out that
here's the first submarine.
Yeah. I saw that one earlier in the week. Good thing you put it in there because I think I forgot to send that one.
Yep, there you go. That's pretty self-explanatory right there.
I'm trying to, I know the combat veteran picture. I'm trying to figure out what was this non-combat veteran one from with the high and tight and everything. Is this from a movie or a TV show?
I think he's from a TV show. I think he's from a TV show.
God. Oh, well.
Here we go. When Uncle Billy grabs the mic at your wedding and tells the story of how he caught you beating off to the Golden Girls reruns in high school.
Oh, shit. Fucking Betty White. She'll get you every time.
Yeah. Here you go. When you drink Bud Light, but she drinks whiskey.
Fucking Transheiser-Busch. Transheiser-Busch for the win.
My generation. I am woman, hear me roar. Today's generation. I don't know what I am. Hear me whine.
Yeah, I know shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Go on Twitter for a little bit.
When DMX said, y'all going to make me lose my mind, he is probably at work.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about the job I have right now is like my little section that I'm in, I'm by myself. All I do, which is why my headphones look like shit. I have my headphones on, I listen to podcasts, and I work by myself in my own section.
This one's pretty epic. Have you ever looked around and thought, I am way too sober for this shit?
Yeah.
Pain is MREs leaving the body.
True enough.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I'm just going to, yep.
Especially when you got to dig your own hole.
Yeah.
Or getting out the
Coffee doesn't ask me stupid questions in the morning. Be more like coffee. That's pretty self-explanatory right there, if I must say. When people in Arizona ask me what it's like to live in Arizona, a squirrel killing a rattlesnake with a shiv.
That's fucking awesome.
Here's a Star Wars meme for all you nerds out there. When Fennec Shan finds a certain metal bikini at Boba's palace.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a Star Wars nerd enough to get into this one.
She's from the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know who Fennec Shand was. Yeah, I know the metal bikini and I know Boba's place. I don't know Fennec Shand.
Me and my homie's gonna go find the rich folks' wallets on that submarine.
Jeez.
Oh. Yep, that's great. The system can be fixed. All you need is some rope and and some wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's start with the FBI and the CIA and move on to the ATF and the IRS.
Yeah. Superman saving Lois from R. Kelly.
You son of a bitch, R. Kelly. I'm gonna give you some pee-pee.
White people as soon as one leaf hits the ground. What in the holy hell? I don't. Yep.
Was that the little farmer? We have a place close. We have a place close to here called the Little Farmer. I could see this picture being taken there.
That's kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
If you kill a burglar, it means you value your things more than the burglar's life. If you break into my home, you value my things more than your life.
Yep.
AOC is a crackhead. I don't know if you'd call this a short stop, a rolling stop, rolling thunder. I mean,
no, definitely a short stop.
Walking tall? I don't know. God, I hope he's not a ginger. We're all fucked. When you realize you're no longer the last one to fuck 5 guys.
Oh shit. This means war.
Milli Vanilli watching people get famous for lip syncing on TikTok.
You bastards.
Drunk octopus wants to fight you. Drawbridge ahead. That's funny. It appears we have some breaking news. Good Lord, what the fuck now? That's how news should be. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. Especially, I mean, that's basically what the news has been the last week.
Did you see that thing from Joe Rogan? Where he had
he would. Yeah, the challenge of RFK to Peter Hotez. He had
what's his face? The comedian that's a germaphobe from Canada.
Chris Benoit should know this from
Canada. And he was like, Watch this. And he played all these different news segments and he overlapped them. And they were all saying the same shit.
That's old though. I've seen that. I've seen that like a year ago.
If you come by and see me in my garage like this, mind your business. It's hot outside. Crackheads on their way to steal copper from the Titanic.
Oh shit! Fucking turn a water heater into a fucking submarine.
Mama, when can I give Daddy his Father's Day card? Thursday when he delivers the milk.
Oh shit!
Too soon? And that happened again. Yep, I knew that was going to happen.
Son of a bitch.
I was getting there.
Yeah, we definitely got to upgrade your computer, man.
So, when you sleep with another guy, it's pull to pole or hole to hole, but never pull to hole. This is brought to you by Letterkenny.
Oh, shit.
Your car seems fine, Miss Cortez. Just the crap in the air filter. How many times a day do I have to do that? Yep. I could watch orcas sink yachts all day long. I don't give a shit about rich people. Yep.
Wasn't there like a migrant vessel that went down too?
I think so. The Statue of David returns to Italy after 3 years in America.
Shit. You son of a bitch.
What's that magic word to get you whatever you want? I am offended. It's not called slurring your words. It's called talking in cursive, and it's classy.
Yeah, that's definitely a way I've referred to it.
Oh, here we go. It happened again.
Brah.
It usually happens 5 times during this segment, so we're good.
5 times an episode.
I told him I wanted to see the kids, so he came in my eye.
Oh, shit.
In our world, the title Doc is not earned from a fancy degree. Let that sink in.
Yeah, that's a very true one.
Everyone who is making these submarines memes, how the fuck do you sleep at night? With oxygen and a working game controller. That's funnier than hell. Vin Diesel, when he got the family on the Titanic exploration submarine.
I've seen this one a few times. President Biden appoints Jared Fogle to serve as the new child safety task force head.
Oh, dear God. Come on, see the
Titanic. Yeah, fucking get that rug out, fucking Merrick. You're still not on the Supreme Court, bro.
I can't feel my toes. Please don't tell Dad. Y'all been wrestling in here? Dad, please not the belt. That's not an option, son.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow.
Great job, Fidel.
Give me another beer. It's time that the super wealthy start paying their fair share. Please give him the password so he can do his own tweets, please. I'm begging you. Thank you.
Dude. Can you just
Is that all of them?
Show we've been? I think so.
There's no way in hell I went through all of them. I missed some. I went through all those memes?
It's all good.
Holy fuck! Wow. That was fast as fuck.
Well, there's only 2 of us tonight. I mean, usually we got double. On-air participation.
True. Oh, it was Howie Mandel.
Oh, yeah. He's a huge germaphobe.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, we've already been on the air for 2 hours, too. Well, you've been on for 2 hours. I've been on for,
an hour and a half.
And muted most of the time because karaoke theater was going on upstairs.
I don't know what was at one point you had like a tambourine band.
Yeah, it started out with Zeke playing the trumpet, and then all of a sudden it moved to Sammy singing on the karaoke machine.
Oh, check this out. I got this on Father's Day.
Nice.
It's a hollowed out metal baseball bat. It's 20 ounces.
I've seen the one with the wooden bats too.
It's the same company.
It'd be badass though, as if they could get actual player bats.
Oh yeah, and the cool thing about when you get the bats, the end of the bats, they make into shot glasses.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So you are hosting Wisconsin's Got Talent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Sammy was doing that. Well, I guess, it started out with Zeke on the trumpet too. So yeah, we had a trumpet performance and we had some singing. Not bad.
All we need now is a cooking demonstration and we're good. Oh, speaking of shots.
Oh, my wife already went to bed. So.
Oh, okay. Cheers, Chris.
Yeah, she's got work. I just wanted to bring that up because you're like, well, yeah, we need a cooking competition. It's like, yeah, my wife making sandwiches and such.
So, I was told to bring this up. This is the California Angels. And yes, I said the California Angels, not the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And I know this isn't sports church, but they are playing the Colorado Rockies right now. It is in the bottom of the 4th inning. Angels 23, Rockies 0.
Oh, fucking shit.
They're still.
Did they send the old Colorado Rockies hockey team out to play baseball tonight?
I don't know if the Girl Scouts are playing or what, but 23-0 at the bottom of the 4th. And wow, that's just wow. Just I don't know how to explain. They scored 13 runs in the 3rd inning.
Jesus Christ.
And there's still no outs. Still no outs.
Is that a record? 13 in 1 inning?
Very close. I think it's the 2nd highest total in an inning. That's
I gotta look
fucking
this
insane.
shit up now. Did you watch any of the UFC fight?
Oh, today? No, I missed it because I was out doing a yard sale. So.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch them either. I saw there was a good women's fight at least. But.
Yeah, well, it started out on ABC and finished on ESPN Plus. Oh, for those of you that don't like to drink, this is called Tennyson. It's really good. It's an alcohol additive to make you think you're drinking alcohol, but there's no alcohol in it. It's really good.
All right. So the record for one inning is 18 runs in an inning. Back in 1883, the Chicago White Stockings beating the Detroit Wolverines.
Wow. And of course, Chris has to throw in the modern day record.
Chris has it in there already.
And he also has to throw in the modern day record.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy with the sports church chat. Like, there'll be days where I'm just like, I'll see a story and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna share this over there, and then I go to hit the share.
And Chris has already shared it.
Chris has already shared the story I'm about to share. I don't know. Time moves faster in Canada or something because he's always ahead of that stuff.
I woke up one morning because I have my phone on sleep, and it'll wake me up at like 8 or 7 o'clock, depending on what time I go to sleep. And the minute it hits wake up, my phone just starts going ding, 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 ding. And you hear my wife going, who the hell is texting you? I'm like, it's Chris. He's got new sports stuff. Just, fuck. I'm like, he's probably been up since 2 a.m. He's good.
Yeah, it's crazy. He finds everything, man. He's like the super scout.
He shows the post, then Minnie finds the video. It's fucking weird. And then like midday, I finally come to. I'm finally coherent. Like midday, I'm like, all right, ooh. And then they both respond back to me. We already posted that. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit behind. I'm a little bit behind the times.
That's just fucking nuts. I've never even seen a baseball game score that high.
Yeah,
I
know, right?
And still playing. There's just like a point where it's like, okay, we've got the bat boy, the two ball people, the people selling concessions now are playing. We're done. Peace, we're out.
Being at a game like that, I mean, that's got to be like some of my daughter's hockey games this year. Like, it's like, okay, you score at first, and you're like, yeah, this is great, we're winning, and then all of a sudden the score's like 12-0, and you're like, could maybe somebody on the other team at least take a shot or something?
It's like, well, that escalated quickly.
Like, I kind of feel bad for these guys now. At what point do we just stop trying?
Can you hold the fort down for a second? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Holy cow.
I'll be right back.
Myself.
Well, I did it for like a half an hour.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not you. So, hey. Yeah. What about that, the unfortunate 5 that got sunk to the bottom of the ocean? It is super awkward. At least, yeah, for sure. Especially leaving it alone with me tonight. Thierry on tomorrow to talk about the NHL and the draft. I don't know for sure because my wife's got to work tomorrow. And then, I want to at least spend some time with her when she gets off. So I'd like to be there. I don't know for sure if it's going to work out, but I'll try to be there if I can. Yeah. Otherwise, on my end, I guess, yeah, with Sammy, we got her coming up. We're trying to look into this Wisconsin Elite Hockey League. I guess the tryouts for that are coming up. Holy cow, what is all that?
The low exit velocity, the goofy launch angle, all the uniqueness that David brings to the craft.
Why is that so loud?
Homer in the fifth on a swing that was not even a barrel. Right.
Five Guys Burger and Fries across from the Titanic Museum in Kentucky. I definitely want to see that. I will drive back down to Kentucky to see that. Oh,
so here's the note that I want to hit you with that I think is.
Welcome back.
Would have loved reading his CX.
That's over 100 years. Just scored 20.
Leslie Ann Tillett Bridge would have loved a reading, please.
A reading of what?
Hi.
Hi. What are we reading?
I'm reading the comments.
Oh. Well, I was asking what she wanted a reading of.
Oh, yeah.
Greetings, new viewer.
So, are Blue or Tim gonna join us tonight, or?
Tim's not. I don't believe Blue is. She's got those people doing the paranormal stuff for her house.
Oh, she got an exorcist?
Not an exorcist, just, doing background readings on the house and stuff to find out what's actually in the house.
Would she get the ghost whisper?
She's got I think
see this shit on
5 or 6
TV.
ghosts in her house now. It's weird.
Man, where do you get that?
Oh, hey, Chris, it is now 24-0. I'm watching this live. This is disgusting. Blue is the ghost collector, not the ghost whisperer.
Ghost collector. That could be a show.
Yeah, that could be.
That could definitely be.
So, Leslie, how are you doing? How's your Saturday going? Where are you from? Would love a reading, please.
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out earlier.
Okay.
Oh, she's talking about a Reading, like Reading, Pennsylvania. She wants to move to Reading, I guess.
They need to call it Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, I think that's already.
That's already a show, Chris. It's by those weird people.
Yeah, no, my wife loves that show. The Ghost Adventures.
There's Ghost Adventurers, Ghost Adventures in a hospital. Yeah, the guy with the glasses and his crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
My wife loves that show. I've seen a ton of episodes of that.
Whatever you do,
Maybe
don't get Max.
Episode, but
don't get what used to be known as HBO Max, which is now Max. There's 85 different versions of that show. There's Ghost Adventures, Ghost Adventures Extreme, Ghost Adventures 24 hours locked in a dungeon, Ghost Adventures in a fort. Okay, dude, we get the point. You like ghosts.
Yeah, I think that guy owns a fucking museum in Las Vegas too with ghost shit.
He's probably friends with Chris Angel or some shit.
Probably. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Tell Blue she needs to fall down the steps and hit her head so she can see Trevor and the rest of the ghosts in her. That's the TV show Ghosts. Oh, that'd be funnier than hell if she got a Viking.
Did somebody say like Ghost Whisperer too earlier?
Yeah, I think Chris did. Yeah. I got to turn the TV down.
My wife's like addicted to that show right now.
Yeah, I know. That show is weird as hell.
It's like it's like an old like 2007, 2008 fucking drama with Jennifer Love Hewitt. And we've been watching like every episode of it, and it's like, oh jeez, man. That's back in the day now. I know a guy who says that he has spirits in his house that has sex with him all the time. So a succubus.
Yeah, that's a succubus.
Stealing his seed. I don't get what's the deal with succubus. So, are they stealing your seed so they can like impregnate some evil spirit with it?
I think I don't know. So, are you coming to Dean's get together?
I'm gonna try to. I don't know for sure yet because we're going to the Philippines for Christmas and New Year, so I'm not gonna really have vacation days, but I want to at least make it for the weekend part and get back whenever I gotta start work again. Because we're trying to interconnect my vacation from this year and my vacation from next year, so we can spend like 4 weeks in the Philippines, like a whole month basically.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna try, and that's end of December, beginning of January. So it works out nice because it's like we get to do Christmas and New Year's over there then.
Yeah.
So we're trying.
That's what, like a $5,000 flight.
Depends. We usually go through an agent. There's a few Filipinos that are air agents over here.
Yeah,
can find decent deals for you. So we got a few people we email and stuff through forums and stuff that we met. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be 4 of us going over there. So yeah, it's going to be an expensive ass trip. Is what it is.
Well, yeah, the plane ticket here, but once you get there, it's cheap, right? Ish.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, the nice thing for us is once we get over there, since family over there, we don't got to pay for a hotel or anything.
Yeah. Which is good.
At their place. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's different because you don't got, it's not all the luxuries of a hotel per se, and you still got to buy your own food and stuff once you're over there. Then there's no breakfast or anything included, but it's nice to have a place to stay at once we get there.
Man, I woke up at like 6 in the morning yesterday. I just had this hankering for Filipino food.
What, some adobo or?
I wanted adobo, pancit, and some lumpia.
Pantseat.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
my wife's looking at me like, huh? They're like, never mind.
I mean, lumpia, I mean, at least is close enough to an egg roll. You could just get some egg rolls and that'd be close enough. But yeah, pantseat's kind of close to ramen, I guess. But yeah, you can't get adobo if compared to something else.
And what is it? What is that roll? It's a roll, but there's something in the middle of the roll.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I got an idea, but yeah, I wish Irene was still up so I could ask her. Holy cow, we are getting messages.
The fuck did you just smoke the night before?
I'm not going to incriminate myself in any way here. But yeah, I suppose it's getting kind of late, so you want to bring the show to a close?
I'll just run it till midnight. Keep it going. There's Blue.
Come join us.
Hi, Blue.
My life is boring and I have run out of.
If you're able and willing to join, please do.
But yeah, so you're moving out what by the weekend or what day you moving down to Florida by?
We're going to be on the road to Florida. One moment. We'll be leaving. Everything's going to be boxed, packed, and in the trailer Thursday night or Thursday, because we're picking up the trailer Tuesday or Wednesday. Everything's getting packed into the trailer, and then Friday morning, we're on the road.
Nice. So, yeah, we're gonna be down in Chicago on Chicago area on Sunday, but I suppose you don't go through there at all, because from
No, that would be going that way, and then
that would be out of the way. Son of a bitch. So, what made you guys want to move to Florida from Pennsylvania?
Well, her sister's there, and she's all by herself. I mean, she's got friends and stuff, but when I was there for her,
moving to the villages.
But yeah, we're doing Cocoon and shit. When we were there for her birthday,
the villages are pretty close to you guys, aren't they? Though, like
there's villages Florida everywhere.
No, you know what the villages are, right?
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna change my name to Happy Gilmore.
Because you like drive through that coming back up on what's that fucking highway coming north out of Florida? But you'll see it right on the fucking bridge going on the overpass. The villages.
Not villages. The villages.
The villages, yeah. That's a specific thing. That's like a retirement community.
Chris, I do not remember certain parts of the birthday.
Uh-oh.
But
Brittany can't find the link. We gotta send her to the link.
Okay, I'll send it to you. There it goes. Copy.
God, Brittany Griner Memorial comes up before Brittany's account.
Sent it to you, Blue. You got it.
Yeah, I sent it as well. I was trying to send, like I said, Brittany Griner Memorial.
That was the best thing we ever did for fantasy football. And dude, you had the best name.
Oh yeah, the Mar-a-Lago Raiders. Too bad I had the best name for this season, but it was like my worst season I've ever had in fantasy football. If it wasn't for the, if it wasn't
I don't
for the
know, Dean. I don't know why Blue wants to cuss you out. You should show a picture of the T-shirt you got in the chat so Blue can see the T-shirt. I think it says I'm friends with Blue's Ghost. I don't know, or Blue's Ghost owes me a beer. And here she is, live and direct from her paranormal activity. Blue. She is a naval veteran. She is phenomenal, and she's probably going to give me an ear ringing in a minute.
You or me? I don't even know.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, who's getting their ass chewed here? I don't even know
Fucking
which one.
Dean said Blue needs to fall down some stairs so she can see Trevor. I'm like, no, the fuck I don't. Dean needs to fall down some stairs and fuck up his leg. Thank you, Dean. Thank you for your well wishes.
So is the America shirt too much for tonight?
Nope, not at all.
America.
Look, yeah.
Hey, I just discovered something the other day. Everybody seems to think that Transformers came out first.
No.
It was the GoBots.
Yeah, it was the GoBots, then Transformers, then Beast, then what is it, Beast Wars?
Voltron.
Or Voltron.
Voltron.
The cars, not the lions.
Voltron.
I just remember when the cartoon for the Beast Wars. But I can't fucking remember what they were called back in the 90s or 2000s. They were basically Transformers with like the animals.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers.
Actually, that was my shit too. Back in the day. I wanted to be the Blue Ranger though.
The animal robots, and then they turned into, what was it, Mega fucking...
No, but like these were like the Transformers, but they were animal bots.
Yeah, I remember those. They had the dinosaurs. They had gorillas.
They
had something else.
But they had like, well, like in the 2000 cartoons, they had like the Decepticon team up, like some of the Decepticons team up with the, fuck, I'm tired. I can't remember the name. Autobots.
Thundercats?
No.
Thundercats didn't have like a giant robot.
What the fuck are you talking about, you drunk ass?
Yeah, I'm looking in the comments.
No, here.
Dean said Thundercats.
No, you jackass. Fall down some stairs and get your shit straight. And yes, the Haints. So like after we had that group come the last time, the Haints really kind of picked up. Like the doors were opening and closing, the cabinets were opening and closing. We were hearing people walking up and down the hallways. Jason saw somebody in a black dress in the bathroom. I mean, like, and then last night I saw a shadow.
It's like a Victorian black dress.
No, it's not a Victorian home. It's just a typical ranch home from like the 50s. I'm gonna tell Trevor to push you. Fuck off.
I was asking about the ghost, not the house.
No, they're not Victorian. One of them, her name is Maddie, and she was a sweet woman. She died like in her in 2020, 22. She was in her 90s. But they gave us a picture of her.
We're
and
in
she's just,
2023, so I hope it wasn't just this year.
well, I hope not. But oh yeah, she died in 08. But she was this sweet black woman that was part of like this church, and they would do the prayers where they would, lay hands and for prayers. So they think that she's the one that's been touching my ankles. And then the other ones, they're not malevolent. They're just mischievous. So
you got a lot of Lokis running around the house?
yeah, pretty much. But hopefully they cleanse the house, so hopefully it should subside. And we're like, Maddie's more than welcome to stay if she'd like to, but the other one's got to go. So
yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah,
well, hopefully Dean shows a picture of the T-shirt.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the T-shirt says.
He said, "I just got my Blues Ghost T-shirt." I was like, "Wait, what?"
It's like I'm friends with Blues Ghost because he owes me a beer or
well,
something.
where the fuck is my shirt? I didn't get one.
Oh, don't worry.
Plot twist on that owing a beer. He's gonna be a fucking Bud Light.
Is that a floating beer in the air?
Alyssa's making T-shirts for everybody for Dean's thing, and she will be sending you a T-shirt. She was gonna ask you what you wanted your T-shirt to say, but she sent Dean his inaugural T-shirts. He got a #vagina hat.
Oh Jesus!
Because that's his catch line. He pawned it, and I think he even pawned the thing about Trevor being my best friend and owes me a beer. And Chris got a pink #vagina hat to wear to his softball league. So
I like the hashtag mock Jesus. Like how fucking Santa gotta go mock Jesus. I laugh so fucking hard. That's a heavy laughing so hard. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I was just like, when the fuck did that shirt come out? I wasn't even told about it, and so it was just a concept.
I know it's on my wife's Etsy page, Fun with the Doc's Wife. She's got hats, T-shirts, coffee mugs.
No, I hadn't gone on it yet. I've been so fucking busy. It's not even funny. I don't even have time to wipe my own ass. I'll be lucky if I do.
So where's the Double D?
Yeah.
How's he doing? There he is.
He's fine. He's fine.
I guess.
We were just dealing with it too. It just got to a point where I just became emotionally distraught, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't deal with it anymore. And so they just like, yeah, we're done too. We're just gonna cleanse this place up. So
they use a lot of sage.
no, actually, what they did was they got salt and water, and they put it on the windows, every single window in the house. And then they had like a singing bowl and whatnot, and they kind of just ushered it at the door, and then they told us to put up our crosses that we had already had blessed with holy water and whatnot. So if we were trying to
Oh shit!
I'm fucking done with Dean.
I mean, it's not much different from.
Do you remember what that man's pool looked like last week? That thing was blacker than holy hell. That thing is blue as shit now.
Yeah, about time he fucking put it to good use instead of just, taking it as drinking water.
He cleaned that thing up just for us.
So I have to come now. Yeah. Okay. When is it? The Memorial Day weekend, I have to put in time off.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day.
Yeah. Oh, Labor Day. Oh, Jesus.
Memorial Day's already over.
I got it. Oh my god, I'm over it. I'm so fucking tired. I'm so tired, and I got work tomorrow.
pounding out that overtime just like my wife.
Yeah, well, it's at the care facility, the second job, and I don't mind it. Like the residents like to come up and talk. There's one in particular, he likes to come up and talk, but I think he had a stroke or something. I don't know. And when he talks, it's very incoherent. So basically you're taking the first word of the sentence and the last and just like trying to come up with what he's saying.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll just go, yeah, you don't say. I hate to do it, but it's just so hard to understand him sometimes. I don't want him to get upset, be like, look, I'm sorry, hon, I'm really trying here. But he's a nice guy. He's very sweet. And you got another resident, she likes to come up and talk, and she's really nosy about people, so like she'll be looking at people outside and whatnot. One of them, she's sometimes nice, and then sometimes she likes to just give you the finger, but just because.
Oh, he posted the t-shirt in the chat, Blue. It says, "My name is Trevor. Blue is my best friend."
I gotta find
It's a ghost.
Oh, Jesus.
And then on the back it says Veteran Revolt Radio.
Nice.
Oh, now it's a different name, but thanks. Oh, Jesus.
Poor guy speaks in Pulp Fiction.
Wow. Oh, that's so fucked up.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so fucked up. You're going to hell for that one.
Have you ever hit that movie on the option on DVD and watch it in order?
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense.
No.
No sense.
No sense at all. Oh my god. I was just sitting here thinking about what movie did we say we wanted to go see? Oh, The Nun 2.
Yeah.
We went to go see, what did we see last week? The Boogeyman?
Yeah.
And I was thoroughly disappointed in that fucking movie. I was so mad at that movie. I was like, this movie was so damn predictable. And I think the only part of the movie that scared me was the previews for The Nun. That girl, she just looks through the fucking crack of the wall, and then she just shows up in the fucking door. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck that.
She choked on her popcorn.
I did. I choked on my popcorn. Trevor was gonna meet me on the other side of the theater. Trevor would have been like, so hi.
Hi, so you're Blue. Hi, I'm Trevor.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I've been the one haunting you.
Don't mind me, I don't wear pants. I'm sorry. Hope I don't disturb you.
I'm here to save you from choking on this popcorn.
Do you need a Heimlich maneuver? No, I'm not doing it from the rear.
Let me
Sorry.
shove my ghost hand down your throat.
Oh, God.
Remove the popcorn.
You'll thank me for this later.
Oh, do not go and watch the Flash movie.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't like the actor anyways. He should have been arrested a long ass time ago. So I'm like, I refuse to support any movie that has him in it. He's fucking psychotic.
The only good thing about that movie was the cross of the two Batmans, which I
Michael
thought was
Keaton.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like seeing Michael Keaton, I was like, oh, that looks kind of neat just because he's in it. But I'm like, other than that, I'm like, that dude can rot in hell. He's just so
fuck this
fucking
guy,
good.
fuck that guy, fuck you,
Pretty.
fuck you, you're cool.
As soon as he gets on the screen, all you would hear me just,
I'm out.
yeah, I would just be sitting him on the screen, boo, throwing the popcorn. Michael Keaton comes on, yay, boo. Be like the fucking little girl. Oh my god, when we went to see the Boogeyman, this couple brought in their kid, and she was just talking. Mommy, what do they mean by that? What happened? I'm like, who the fuck brings their kid? Oh,
Yeah, I remember you were saying that. I'm like, oh, the babysitter called in sick.
So what? You plan another day. I mean, granted, my mom took me to one horror movie as a kid, but that was because like a legit last minute the babysitter was supposed to show up. The movie was starting like 5 minutes, and like luckily the movie theater was like across like literally across the base when they were in Germany. Mom's like, shit, I've got no choice. I got to take her with me. And she gave me this look. She's like, you say anything at all, we are going outside and I'm going to whoop your ass and then we're going to come back in here. So I didn't say shit.
Oh, God. Watch Multiplicity and then look at Joe Biden. Oh, God.
I know, I was laughing at that shit.
Yeah. Anyways, in today's news.
I mean, I'm fucking worried as shit because fucking China's gonna fucking invade Taiwan any day now, and the fucking Philippines ain't that fucking far away.
So no
my
more Philippines.
My wife's family's all fucked.
They've been saying that for years, though. Like, I haven't seen them make a move with Taiwan.
No, they're fucking doing this shit with Biden's in office. Why wouldn't you? The guy can't even stand on a fucking bicycle.
I can't even see the comments. Give me 1 second.
No, that's only when we're drunk there, Chris. That's only when we're drunk. Only when we're drunk. And you can ask Blue what it's like to do a show with me and Minnie really drunk.
We had to end at 20 minutes in. Like, yeah, we're sorry. We're so sorry. And the messed up part was you guys were squinting so hard. Like, his eyes looked so fucking swelled up. I thought he had an allergic reaction to something. I was like, oh my God. And he's like, no, I'm just super drunk. All right, we're going to get through these memes. I'm like, no, the fuck, we're not. We're calling it a night.
All I know is we were throwing darts.
He's like, the show must go on.
Like
no.
Every 4 minutes, there was a Guinness and 2 more shots. And I'm like, okay.
No thanks.
And then, like, we beat this couple at darts. So now we got, like, more shots and more Guinness. And I'm like, okay. Oh. And speak of the devil.
Oh. Yeah, no. Speak of.
All right, Dean. This is for you. I told you I would do it for you.
Yeah, sure. We kind of basically guessed that basically the stuff had already like fucked up as soon as they lost comms.
We've been dealing with a yard sale, moving sale, so she's just out of it.
Oh, I was talking about the submarine, but okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm sorry.
I was talking about the submarine. Yeah, like as soon as they said, yeah, we lost communications, I'm like, well, they're dead.
Well, my thing is if when they discovered the Titanic and they used an unmanned sub.
Even then they had problems.
And you know that a man-made sub does not go that deep.
I think the only sub, I have to give it though, like there's one sub that who I think James Cameron drove to the Mariana.
Yeah, James Cameron's been to Titanic 30 times.
Well, like he also went to the Mariana Trench, which is like 7 miles deep.
Yeah, but what he also doesn't fail to tell people is when he was in that submarine he had, it had an oxygen hose in like a chain to automatically bring him up when it hit a certain level so he could regulate himself and then would bring him. That's cheating. That is cheating hardcore.
I mean, he still did it though.
I don't think there's a book on regulations on undersea exploring.
But when 5 idiotic rich dudes go, oh, let's go take a look at the Titanic.
Well, like in the kid's defense, though, he was terrified of going, but he only went because it was basically Father's Day, and his dad kind of pressured him. So I do feel bad for the kid. Like that shouldn't have happened at all. Been like, all right, Dad, have fun. We got you these tickets for the Titanic. I don't want to go. Take a friend. Take somebody. But that shouldn't have happened. And also on top of that, even if you do get to see it, you're seeing it through this little ass porthole. And even if you get close enough to see anything, all you're going to do is catch a lot of dust from the seabed. It just, I don't know why they thought that was a great idea. Me personally, I was like that. At least their death was quick, but that was the first thing I said. As soon as they lost communication, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're fucking dead.
And I'm sorry, but my whole thing is, that's cool. We went to the moon. Can we do some shit in the ocean now for once? Like,
I wouldn't. Fuck no.
Because
I'm sorry, no.
I would like to know some more stuff about what
Jaws. As soon as I fucking go underwater, I'm getting fucking.
I mean, when you see these mysterious creatures just show up dead on the ocean,
I mean,
they don't know where the hell it came from. Like,
I get that. Like, well, there was nights like when we'd be deployed or out at sea, and I'd be in the aft of the boat or like on one of the cat rails and just looking at the ocean. I'm like, oh, I'm just thinking about all the shipwrecks that are down here and what could possibly be lurking underneath. And then the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I got. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go back in.
What could be working?
Well, like, I remember my first
stingray that killed Steve Irwin. That's what's
the first time I was at Diego Garcia, I woke up the very next morning and I'm slapping my roommate on the chest because, like, our room was, like, right off the beach. And nobody bothered to tell me that the shelf at the equator was right out there. You know, like, where'd the water go? Goes, it's low tide. You can literally walk. I'm like, wait, the 16,000 foot drop? And he goes, yeah, that's right there. I'm like, no shit, I'm not going out there. He goes, you can walk right out there.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. No, I'm cool.
I didn't even when they offered the free swim on the ship during deployment, I think I was the only white chick that was like, nah, I'm good. All these other ones were like, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm like, yeah, but I also know that when we throw garbage over the side, that sharks like to follow. So no, I'm gonna pass hard time on this. It just nothing pertains to me about the ocean. Like, yes, it's pretty to look at. Yes, it kind of smells nice. But other than that, no, I won't get in the water. I refuse to get in the water. Even when I was stationed in Norfolk, I'd go to the beach, never got in the water. Fuck that. Just does not appeal to me. I'd rather go to a beach on Lake Michigan where the worst that could happen to me is riptide and get bit by a pike. Fucking big deal.
Yeah.
Fuck you, pike.
Yeah, pretty much. After that, it's like, a shark? Oh, fuck that. At that point, I'd be like, I just want to die. I would just give up and die.
Did you see what the kids got me for Father's Day?
No.
So this is a hollowed out baseball bat that holds 20 ounces.
Oh, boy.
And I haven't had a pair of Jordan 4s.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah, those look nice. They look like dad shoes, but yeah, they look nice.
The last time I had a pair of Jordan 4s, I was in the 7th grade.
I can't think when was the last time I had a pair of Jordans, or even if I had any.
I opened up the wrapper and I'm just like, okay, she talked to my dad. She learned a trick. Like, my dad would fuck with me and, like, thinking I got, like, some big name shoe and put the generic shoe in the box.
Oh, like New Balance and Nikes.
Yeah. So I'm like,
that's what I was just saying. New Balance and Jordan gotta collaborate.
And I'm like,
ultimate dad shoe.
I saw the net on the side of the shoe, and I'm like, oh hell, oh wait, no. But then, like a week prior, she goes, her exact wording: "I got you something. Don't freak out, and don't be mad."
Why would I be mad?
Okay. And I'm sitting here going, don't freak out. Don't be mad. Okay.
Wait, I got us a dog. I got us a cat.
Then I'm sitting here going, wait, Don't be mad. Why do I got to be mad? What the hell's going on?
I bought my dad. Well, I was trying to get my dad for Father's Day. He likes to get pedicures, which I don't care. I like getting my pedicures. My dad's got diabetes, so like he likes to get his pedicures just so that his feet don't look raunchy, and that's fine. Any man that says, "Ooh, men who get pedicures are gay," f off. If you haven't had one, you don't know what the fuck you're missing. But I was trying to get him as a gift certificate to one of his places that he would go to, but the girl that he went to had changed location. So I was trying to find out where the fuck she was at, and they were closed, so I couldn't buy him his gift card. So my work had basically made teas for dads, and like I just grabbed one. I was like, I'm sorry, it's kind of cheap, but I'll make it up to you.
Yeah.
But my parents, with us moving in this house and trying to get ourselves situated, they're like, don't worry about it. Like, it's not a big deal.
So are you guys going to keep the place you're at or look for something else?
Well, right now we're stuck with it for the next 3 years. So, and then after the 3 years, I guess the decision is either Jason and I will stay here or Jim, his brother, will get the house. His parents basically have this whole weird canable about it. Don't ask me to explain it. It's fucking stupid. But if we get it, I'm gonna say, yeah, we better get it, because if I'm gonna put my money and time into painting these walls, redoing the doors, keeping the side of the house, redoing the gardening, fuck yeah, I want the house. And it basically has gotten to the point where Jim has become useless. Like, asking him to clean is just a fucking task itself. He hasn't cleaned anything of what he was supposed to this week. And he eats junk food, like, terribly. So it's gotten to the point where I just don't buy groceries for him anymore. I'm like, whatever I fucking make is for me and Jason. So
It's like living with a teenager.
It's worse. It's not even a teenager. Teenagers know how to fucking aim in the toilet. Yeah, it smells like a urinal at times when he goes in there, because he doesn't know how to properly shake before you just put your fly up again.
For a little bit.
Yeah, dribble dick. So that has been a problem, and I told Jason that needs to quit. But yeah, like, I'm hoping that we get the house. Like, I'm hoping that all the money and energy that we're putting into it, we're trying to make the most out of it. We'll get it, and if not, then we'll find something nicer.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. And if we do decide that we're moving, I told him the reasonable or the fair way would be to go back to Michigan. So, cocky leaky. Jeez.
Hey, I hear if you're looking for no state tax, Florida's good.
Florida's got hurricanes and gators and snakes and spiders, and nah, I'm good.
But you know what's the good thing about that?
Nothing.
You get 2 weeks of preparedness before the hurricane comes. So
okay, here's how much I have to prepare for a hurricane up here. Not at all.
Yeah, but you still get those tornadoes. Possibly.
Yeah, we get tornadoes. I'd rather deal with a tornado than a fucking hurricane, though. I've dealt with tornadoes. I'd rather deal with that than a fucking hurricane.
True.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and wade through water that's not going to go away for like another 3-4 weeks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and, have to wash my laundry in a fucking semi that has to bring the washers and dryers. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. But no, not for me. And then if I see a snake down there, fuck no. Yeah, we got snakes up here, but they stay the fuck away.
No, the snakes that are in Florida are from some dipshit that thought it was funny and brought some fucking illegal snake that's not supposed to be anywhere.
I don't want to worry about my pets being consumed by a python that shouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen.
True.
And plus, there's not really a lot of Victorian homes like in Florida. Like, I've tried finding decent Victorian homes, and the only ones you can find are like in Key West or not St. Augustine. Yeah, St. Augustine.
Yeah. That's a pirate community.
Yeah, I mean, but those areas are expensive too.
Expensive as shit. Yeah.
I personally want a Victorian home. I mean, granted, I want my modifications like heating and electricity and shit, but I would love to have a Victorian home that's got character to it and makes me like that stay away from our house kind of lady. I want to go to our house for Halloween, but I also want to stay away from it for like the rest of the year.
Look at North Carolina.
I've thought about North Carolina. North Carolina wasn't too bad, but like with the texture of the ground itself being too sandy, I personally love having a garden. And if I can't have a garden, I'm going to be a little bit irritated with that. So I probably have to move like into the mountainous area.
Yeah, that's where I used to live. Look in the at mountain side of North Carolina.
I don't know. If I really moved somewhere, it'd probably be either North Carolina, Tennessee, or if I was really feeling it, somewhere out like in Idaho or Montana even. But probably somewhere south where I can get to family easier.
I'd do North Carolina.
I'm trying to stay away from my ex-husband too in the meantime.
Is he in? Don't say he's in North Carolina.
I don't know if he still is or not. Last I knew he was in South Carolina, but I don't know if he moved back to North Carolina or not at some point.
Where I used to live, I was in Boone. So.
Oh yeah, he ain't gonna go in the fucking mountains because then that means he's got to deal with. How do you put this? So my ex-husband was Italian Dominican, so he was a Latino, European, and he really didn't care about being around too many white people. So he would be basically he wouldn't want to live in a place like that. And I don't know how Jason would deal with that either because he'd be away from family too. So me on the other hand, I'd be like, this is a fresh start. I ain't gotta worry about shit. Because I don't think Jason's ever lived outside of the state except.
The cool thing I liked about when I lived in Boone, even though there is a major university there, you're in a mountain. So like downtown, but where I lived, I was still 10 minutes, but I could still get stuff delivered to the house via Instacart or DoorDash, which was cool. But I didn't feel like I was
a hermit.
But it took like 10 minutes to get down the mountain.
Yeah, cool. I think that would be my only problem is if it takes too long to get out into town, then, and especially if I've got to be near a hospital too with my heart and whatnot, I'd be kind of concerned like, oh, if it takes me 10 minutes to get away from my house, shit.
But the cool thing about where I lived was there was 2 major hospitals. You had a university. What else? And then if that hospital wasn't there for what you needed, there was an automatic helicopter to take you anywhere. Yeah. So.
Uh-oh. Lost her.
Her phone died.
Ah, shit.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Well,
I'll give her a few seconds. She'll probably there she goes. She is back. She is ready, better than ever. Hello.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I pushed the button.
It's okay.
I don't know. Like I said, if I were to move somewhere, it'd be either A, back to Michigan, or B, Tennessee, or hell, North Carolina. I don't know. It would just depend.
Or you should also, like, if you're looking at like North Carolina, besides Boone, if you like mountains but you also want to be around stuff, Blowing Rock.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that place too.
My wife, our first actual date, not like on a phone watching a movie together.
Aw.
I took her to Blowing Rock, and she got like they have like these little shops. In one of her shops she loves, she still has 2 candles. We made our own candles.
Oh, nice.
And the cool thing where I lived when I was in Boone was, I don't know if you like country music or not, but
I can appreciate it.
Luke Combs' family lived right down the hill from me.
Oh, actually, funny story. So, damn, what's his fucking name?
Say,
I can't remember his fucking name. Babe, help me out here. Who sings Casper? No, not Casper. Fuck. I'm having a brain fart here.
what's the song?
Ted Nugent. Yeah, I remember now. Ted Nugent actually lives not too far from my grandparents' house in Concord, Michigan. And there'd be times like he would go hunting with my grandpa and my uncle. And he even even with my family business, the butter business, he bought some of our butter and he like made a review about it with like how it tasted with his venison. And granted, he gave us a good review, but it was like, yeah, this fucking butter is fucking amazing. It makes you just want to like he was just going on, and like the way I was like, well, I guess we'll take it. We'll take it. I was like, well, okay, well, it's a good thing, I guess. If Ted Nugent likes it, then.
Hey, a 5-star review with cuss words, that's good.
But it was like, my mom and I were watching, I'm like, well.
But also look at who it's coming from, though.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. I was like, wow, that was a great review, but.
He's probably happy the hippies finally got off his fucking house.
He's
surviving Ted.
He's got a decent house. It's just, oh my God, the dude is nuts. He's just nuts. And when he comes into town, like people make a huge big deal out of it. It's like, it came for hunting season. He does it every year. Like, come on now.
It is what it is.
It's nothing surprising. And basically, it's kind of like when the Faster Horses country concert comes here. It's a 3-day fucking country concert. And all these people from like all the woodworks come. And there's been so many cases of like rapes, and there was a couple deaths and alcohol poisonings and everything. And they just get so obnoxious coming here. You can't stand. Like they hog up the restaurants. The place looks dirty as shit when they clean up after them. And then, of course, when you see some of the people that go to these concerts, it's like, you bought those boots from Walmart for this one day. They don't look dirty at fucking all. Like you.
Never going to use them again.
They're never going to be used again. Like,
son of a bitch.
And it just gets annoying. Like, granted, I'm like, okay, it brings in revenue, great. But at the same time, when they're here, it's so fucking annoying because all the restaurants get hogged up. It's like, well, shit, I wanted Big Boy today, but I guess I can't fucking have Big Boy today. Just,
not today.
And plus, when you read the reports, even like, there's so many rapes. It's ridiculous. There's so many rapes. And then last year, 3 or 4 kids died from carbon monoxide poisoning because they had their starter, not starter. I'm drawing a blank here. I can't think of shit. Anyways, they had a fucking starter next to the camper to keep the electricity going in it, and it was too close to the camper and they died. I think one lived, but the others unfortunately passed away.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of cons when this concert comes into town. Like, can we not? We got NASCAR. That's good enough. Like, we don't need these people here. But it's revenue. That's all I can look at it. It's like, okay, it brings in revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, off my soapbox.
Right.
How's everyone else?
You're good.
I think
There
I'm
you go.
going to call it a night, guys.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night, too, because tonight has been draining. All day has been draining.
Well, thank you all for joining me. I'm glad y'all came on.
Yeah, no problem.
Dean was stoked that he got to show off his shirt.
I didn't even know about the shirt. And he's like, yeah, I just ordered Blue's Coast shirt. I'm like, wait, what? I forgot all about it, honestly. I forgot all fucking about it. And he's like, well,
That
what
was
am I
like
supposed to do?
way back. Like if you go back in the chat to like when we first started, she like went
yeah.
hardcore to paint on t-shirts. Like that was one of like her first things.
I'm so
Like
glad I'm the inspiration.
Her PTSD kicked in. It was like, ooh, t-shirts.
I just laugh. I'm like, where the fuck did Trevor come from?
That was Dean's first name for your ghost, Trevor with no pants.
Oh my god.
Because remember, every now and then he'd be like, hey, there's a ghost with no pants behind you.
Oh yeah. Or that one time I was sitting in the dining room. He's like, why does it look like Blue sitting underneath his butt cheeks? I'm like, that's how the light is shaped.
You've heard of Casper, the friendly ghost. Now you have Trevor,
the pantless ghost.
Trevor, the pantless ghost.
And he got it from the TV show Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
That's why he said you should fall down the stairs. And
Yeah,
I don't want. Yeah, luckily we don't have stairs, but I'd be like, yeah, no, fuck that. As soon as I start seeing them, be like, nope, 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 banging my head on every fucking door I can. Nope, nope, nope. Couldn't do it. What ghost turn herself through was
well, since everybody's dipping out, last one in, first one to go. Blue, go for it. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. So let's see. If you have money, don't do stupid things like, go visit the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, make good choices. I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Jason. That's all I've got.
Hey, it was a good one. All right, T, you're up.
Well, I guess first and foremost, Minnie, I hope you get better soon.
Yeah.
You just had surgery, so
Yeah.
Good luck on your recovery, brother, and glad to see everybody tonight. Have a good one.
Like I always say, if anybody reaches out and they need some help, just listen. They don't want help, just let them get it off their chest, because the best thing you can do is not offer a solution at all, because they trusted you for help.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you're looking for a better solution in your treatment, shoot me a message and I can get you in touch with my friend Dan, who was on earlier. Blue, you should check this out. Watch the earlier part of the show. I'll give you Dan's phone number. He does great things. He's a staff sergeant that was an Army vet. He's a founder of 22-0.
Oh, yes.
And he does the Anxiety Guys podcast.
Yeah.
And it's free of charge. You don't pay for anything. And they help lower what you're going through without deep diving in to what you're going through, which is good, because you can also get trauma from hearing somebody's trauma.
Yeah.
So that's a phenomenal thing. Other than that, just have a great weekend. Be safe. That's weird coming from me because I hang out with these guys. And you all have seen me hammered on air. So yeah, do safe things. Yeah.
Make good choices.
Other than that, my wife would say, have fun, be safe, don't do anything stupid. If you need help, reach out. Any one of us here will pick up the phone. But before I go, I want everybody to know you're not worthless. You are of value. You're never alone. And you mean a lot.
I just read Dean's comment. If you do decide to visit the bottom of the ocean, make sure you get round trip ticket.
And no offense, if you're dumb enough to get on a submarine like that,
made out of carbon fiber,
and titanium. Like that's not gonna do shit.
I mean,
titanium's not bad, but carbon fiber.
You're up there with like Fast and the Furious type thinking for a submarine that ain't working. So you obviously were in the wrong line when God handed out brains. You thought they heard trains and said, "Ooh, going that way. Yay."
The only thing I can say is at least their death was quick and painless. I mean, like, as soon as it imploded, they wouldn't have even known. They wouldn't have even had time to register.
Now I need to know.
Like getting caught with a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick.
Oh, Jesus.
Never see it coming.
So, and I know this will probably get people butthurt, and this is a funny joke. But what's the difference between Paul Walker and Betty White?
Paul Walker got to see 100.
Paul Walker hit 100 first.
After hearing his pass, I'm kind of like, whatever. I'm not heartbroken.
So did those submariners hit 100 before Paul Walker did?
Well, no, because Paul Walker hit it a few years ago.
Well, Paul Walker wasn't even driving; he was shotgun.
I was gonna say he wasn't even driving. I thought he was like the shotgun. Didn't the driver live? No, the driver died too.
Yeah. They both went.
It was like
either way, if you have the money,
Ryan
don't.
From Jackass, he died the same way too.
Do something smart. Be like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg. Fight each other in a cage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that shit tonight.
Well, we can for a very brief moment before I pass.
Blue's like,
no, I'm ready to
go to bed.
We can talk about it really quickly.
We can talk about Zuck and Musk tomorrow.
Oh, you know Pook's going to talk about that shit tomorrow like a motherfucker.
Sure.
Those two fucking idiots. They don't even know how to fucking box, even if there was instructions on the gloves. I don't even think they could fight a fucking cold.
True.
I think they both do jiu-jitsu, so it might be.
Oh, yeah, that'll be really fucking entertaining to watch then, too. Fuck. Yay. My money's on neither.
My money's on the ref.
Yeah, pretty much. Russ is going to get done and be like, all right, you know what? Just fuck off. This is all stupid. Everybody go the fuck home. Just go the fuck home and be nerds.
I think
they should elephant
Joe
fight.
Rogan's the referee for the fight.
Joe Rogan would probably want to beat the shit out of both of them.
No, because then you get the one audience member that wants to just fucking fight Zuckerberg for banning him for 30 days because of some stupid comment from 3 years ago.
Rogan and Elon are boys, though.
Because him and Elon don't have a problem, so he'd probably pay somebody to be like, hey, come on.
I say the Doug fight a submarine.
Well, they can't anymore. Their fist of fury, but
commemorate the poem there.
Oh, goodness. Basically, as T put it, the fucking Chuck Norris roundhouse kick. Nobody sees it coming.
The Atlantic Ocean Chuck Norris to fucking 5-man sub.
They should have sent Chuck Norris to save them. And even if they did live and they were like on the brink of like no communication and they were just low on oxygen, they couldn't bring them right the fuck back up. They'd have to go slowly each level for the nitrogen to kind of ease out of their system.
Yeah, because then they if they did survive, because of whatever depth they're at, you can't, because you're gonna
no, you can't just rush up and get air.
No, because the bends will fucking kill you.
Yeah, and then people were like, well, what about the bodies? Their family should. There ain't gonna be no body.
So now I'm asking a question for a friend who possibly might be a comedian connected to the show.
Oh, Jesus.
Is this on the people that bought the ticket to the submarine and were sold, or is this on the Titanic now? Did the Titanic get 5 more people?
Both.
I mean,
I'm saying the Titanic.
I wouldn't even know. Like at that point, being the family, I'd be like, well, who do I sue? Yeah, sue the Titanic, and then the Titanic be like, bitch, please, just go the fuck home. I don't know. To me, that just there's so much better shit to do with your money. Like go on a fucking trip around the world, but not spend $250,000 to go to the
asshole did that. They made a movie about. He sat in a fucking lawn chair with fucking helium balloons, and he floated halfway around the world in a lawn chair.
Oh yeah, I did see. I saw something about that on Drunk History. It was actually very funny. But it just don't buy a house. Just don't.
Drunk History is epic.
I don't know. Either way, I'm getting tired and I gotta go to bed.
All right. Well, I'm glad you came on. Glad to see you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night. And Dean, go F yourself. I'm not going to fall down some stairs.
All right, T, if you're going to dip out, go for it.
Yeah, I'll bow it too. Have a good night.
All right, brother. Love you. So, guys, I still have beer left, so I figure I'd hang out with you for a bit until we're done. So, I mean, if y'all want me to chug, now would be a good time to say chug the beer, because I'll do it. Yeah, I got 2 of these full of beer, so we can go for a bit. No, Dean, don't worry. I won't really, really chug, but I can get some down. Wow, Chris got quiet all of a sudden. Oh, the baseball game between the Angels and the Rockies. It just ended. Angels 25, Rockies 1. I think the Angels ball boy ended up being the pitcher. So, yeah. Weird. So does anybody have anything planned fun for, I guess now people can say school's finally over with in Canada, Mexico, the U.S., or wherever you're watching? Oh yeah, if you're brave enough to do something like that, and I mean no offense, but when the Titanic was discovered by an unmanned sub, and you're doing research to go down there, I mean, one would think, should I put some extra help onto this just so it's a little smoother? Like, do you want the fuck around and find out experience, or do you want the James Cameron experience where you won't die? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. But I'm also of the opinion where, do we really need to bother with space? No one's really bothered with the ocean because there's depths of ocean that nobody knows about. Wouldn't that be more fun to kind of know? I mean, that's just me. I mean, I would be more curious about what's down there than up there for a point, but true. We can even do the polls. I mean, aren't we still sending experimental teams to both poles so we can figure out what the hell's going on? And there's still not conclusive data because the research teams can't get conclusive shit. So maybe have a group under the water and above the water. Because, I mean, you don't need to go way down. And if you have a sub with a few people, they can drop an unmanned sub lower. So while they're doing their, 4 or 5 months, the people under the ice cap can do the 4 or 5 months. And then when it's done, you have your logs and all your writings and stuff. You go lower than the next group. But that's just me. But I don't know if anybody's ever thought of that, but I figure more scientific exploration of the ocean would be more beneficial than space. Or here's something that's been really kicking my brain lately. The majority of us know how to still write in cursive, read cursive. This new generation doesn't know how to write it, read it, or do it. So how do you read all these old documents that are written in it? Is this their generation's version of hieroglyphics? Because, I mean, if you ain't practicing it, you don't know it. I mean, I think Catholic schools and Hebrew schools are the only things that still do cursive. Exactly, Jack. Well, if you're left-handed, cursive is a motherfucker. One of my friends in Catholic school was left-handed, and they tried to make him write right-handed just so he could do cursive. That shit was hilarious. I'm going to stay with you guys until I'm done with beer. Then we're good. You can still call for shots or anything, you know. I wish they went back to old style teaching, but that's just me. Fuck teaching to a test. Just teach. Fuck Common Core. Common Core is bullshit. One of the best classes I had in high school was called Consumer Math. It taught you how to balance a checkbook, balance your receipts, keep notes, balance transactions, everyday math. I mean, if you look at it, what do you really use algebra and alphabet math for in everyday life? Nothing. Right? Has A plus B divided by C times D with the absolute thing of Y ever come up when you're at a shopping market? No. That shit's for other shit. I didn't even use alphabet math in the military. So, I mean, there's some aspects of the military that need it, but, and I know algebra is problem solving, but there's better ways to go about it than that. Teach a motherfucker how to read a ruler and a tape measure. There you go. Right there. Learn how to read a tape measure and a ruler. Problem solved. But God forbid I'm ever the head of education in this country. Hell, maybe I should run for president or something like that. But I run for president. The beard's coming with me. We need facial hair back in the presidency. Something people can trust. Fuck the metric system. The only good thing the metric system came up with was tea. That's it. Fuck it. Coffee light. Make me Secretary of Education. People gonna learn the right way again. No weird books. No weird shit. Nothing. And shoot yourself to the moon with the metric system and still count to 12 and it still wouldn't fit your socks. But that's just me. So did y'all know the Navy Corpsman's birthday was last week? We were officially incorporated in 1898 from a physician's mate or pharmacist mate. We are the most decorated rate in any military. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm kind of happy I turned 125 years old. I look pretty good for my age, don't I? What are you drinking, Dean? Kind of curious. What do you like to drink? So when I show up to the compound, like beer-wise and liquor-wise, there's another fucking Indiana Jones movie coming out? Why? Are you going to kill him off in this too like you did in fucking Star Wars? So you only drink Angry Orchard. You don't do liquor. Okay. All right. Have you ever heard of a Black Velvet, Dean? Since you drink Angry Orchard, which is basically a hard cider. In Ireland, a Black Velvet comes two ways. There's the rich man and the poor man. The rich man it's basically like a black and tan. It's champagne, then Guinness. Or the poor man is cider, Guinness. Oh, don't worry, Dean. I will not have you drink any hard liquor with me at all. If you do anything with me, it'll be this, because there's no alcohol in it. So it's black ginger, plant-based. It's an alcoholic alternative, non-alcoholic. It's called Tennyson. They're phenomenal. Check them out. Me and you just drink beer. I'm just looking forward to having a good time and hanging out. I hate to do this. I gotta pee, but I'm not canceling the show. I'm not done yet because I still got beer to drink. So give me 1 minute. Sorry, I'm back. Apologize. I'm really looking forward to it, Dean. Really looking forward to it. You've been an integral part of not only us moving forward, but sports church, what you do with me and Richie. We consider you family, bro. Oh, yeah. That's my medic shirt. I'm going to get this as a tattoo soon. Yeah, I know. I know you're not. I'm just a baseball and football fan. I'm more of a college football fan than anything. So, you know, you were one of the first ones, Dean, to notice when I brought Alyssa onto the show when we were on the other network that I had a thing for her. Oh, yeah. I watch college football religiously. This is going to be the first year as a diehard Packers fan. I am not watching. Because if I don't watch, I have nothing to bitch about. Yeah. You and Tim. Because remember when I was still in Boone, I told the guys I had somebody coming on. Yeah. That was when we first started dating. Yeah. Her first appearance on the show was right after we started dating. Yes, Steve, I know. We all do. Oh, I know you were. I know. But it's all good. It'll be something to bring back to. So, is your wife going to be joining us during the festivities, or is she going to be working? My wife wanted me to know that because. And does your wife and your mom want a T-shirt? Like Mama Squatch, married to the Squatch? We're looking forward to, partying with the Sirenny family on the compound. Cindy wants a shirt. So is she cool with it being married to the Squatch? Or does she want, like, Dr. Squatch? Because that'll help out. So when people know who we are, it's if they're in a regular T-shirt, then it's they're just here. But if they're wearing a VRR T-shirt with their name on it, they're part of the group. That can be taken in so many different ways. That's epic. Okay. I will tell her. How about one for your mom? What does your mom want? Or what do you want to put on your mom's shirt? I birthed the Squatch. Squatch's mom. The Squatch, I keep his balls clean. Squatch birthing person. All right, guys. Well, I got a few more sips and I'm out. So I am thankful that you all joined. Thankful you all have watched. This is a therapy of mine, if you haven't noticed. I don't really talk much outside of this, so if you see me in person, I'm actually kind of quiet. So thank you all for tuning in. Thankful you all have watched, stayed on this long. We normally don't run this long, but I figured still drinking, so why end it? Y'all mean a lot. Minnie, hope you get better soon. I know you had surgery on Thursday. Couldn't do shit on Friday, so it's all good. Tim, we missed you. T, thanks for coming on. Blue, thanks for coming on. A good friend of mine, Dan Jarvis. Greatly appreciate you. And if you ever want to seek out some help for any of your issues you're going through, shoot me a message. I'll pass it on to Dan. He can help you. His group's really helped me out, and he'll tell you. If I send you his way, he'll tell you. Also, if you like good coffee, go to www.bronzestarcoffee.com. They have coffee ideas for every type of coffee you like. every need. No bullshit. It's a small business owned and run by a veteran with a Bronze Star. And he's a dear friend of mine. He's a sponsor of the show. So, yeah. We love you guys. Yes, I am a Red Sox fan. I am a Celtics fan. I am not a Patriots fan. No. With that being said, I love you all. Have a problem, reach out. I'll do my best to put you in the right direction. I will never, ever offer a solution for help. I got ears. I don't have a fancy title. I don't have a fancy degree. Just call me Doc. I will listen. I'll put you in the right direction. If I know how to fix it, I will help you. But I want to make sure you're in a good spot before any of this goes forward. Any and everything you tell me or anybody I know will stay between them. Never goes out. Never gets reported. So don't worry about that, okay? Other than that, we will see you next Saturday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. I will not be on the show. I will be either driving to Florida, we just got to Florida, or I'm dead as fuck from driving. That's all I'm saying. But next Saturday, I won't be on. I may make a comment or two. That's it. I love you guys. Thank you for constantly keeping me out of my shell and being a hermit, because I love staying to myself, if you haven't noticed. Other than that, love you guys. See you tomorrow for Sports Church. Big dating game kiss, as many would say. Love, lights, and moon. Yep, covered it all. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Let's keep this going. Also, go to Etsy. Order some shirts, mugs, t-shirts, hats. It's called Fun with the Doc's Wife on Etsy. She has a variety of shirts, hats, t-shirts, mugs. You'll get them within a week or 2 weeks. Other than that, see you tomorrow for Sports Church. Love you guys.